Hello, and welcome to Sunday. I'm sorry I missed you all last week. I felt like poop and just couldn't be bothered to turn on my computer and show my face. But we're here now. Welcome. How's everybody doing? What are we working on? How's life, folks?
Hello.
All right, come on, Loki. You've been waiting.
I have like a ton of stuff I've been working on, and a ton of stuff I've been weirdly ordering patches, and they've been showing up at my house.
Oh, brilliant.
I need to. Sorry.
Go ahead. Come on, Francis.
Hey, Kilroy.
Hello.
I'm so disorganized. I say this every week, but I need to take my credit card off of my phone.
Yeah, or you just need to uninstall the Amazon app off your phone, so you have to literally be at your computer when you know what you're doing.
I did, but then one day I went in through Safari and my credit card was still saved in.
It's still there. Okay, yep. You just need to just delete that shiz. It's time.
And my new excuse is I'm ordering all this stuff because if we do go to war with China, it's not going to be like what people think it is. They're going to just sanction us. They're going to be like, all right, you're cut off. You're cut off.
Right. So it's like you have no food. You have no this and that.
And so I've ordered a bunch of stuff from Amazon just in case they cut us off.
Fair. That seems reasonable. Let's see here. What did I do this week? Oh, I got over my second strap syndrome. I have 2 straps for where's the chemise? This paisley red silk number. So now we have hand crocheted sleeves for it.
Awesome. Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, so that'll be cute. If I was a good person, I would block those laces, but I'm not going to. I can't be bothered. Oh, Kilroy, Patty Day up. I officially boozed and got drunk for the first time in a long time on St. Patrick's Day. I've got to say, I don't miss all-day hangovers. Fair. Yeah, thank you. I don't know how that ended up in my stash, but that's like most of my things, except for this monstrosity behind me. Oh my god, is so.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So this must be 60 inches of. Oh, I took a picture of what it's called. It's vinyl in this. Can I get it? Can I get it close without spilling my drink on my computer? I'll post a picture I think it's on my Instagrams. It's this basket weave vinyl. And yep, officially 60 inches because I'm 61. I laid on it and I was like, oh, it must be at least 56. But
I do that. I know exactly how tall I am, and I measure everything by my own height. Like, I do that for everything.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm on a low buy and not a no buy, because it was $20 at the Goodwill for that whole roll.
That's a score, because I had to, and I can say this because it's been a few years, and I loved the guy, but for some reason, my pops was hoard pleather, and I had to wait for the guy to pass away to get all that stuff. And I had rolls and rolls and rolls. I waited years for that stuff.
Oh, that's too funny. Let me see.
Kilroy, that's why I quit drinking. I rarely talk about it, but I have not had a drink in almost 12 years. And it's because of, after a while, I just felt like I was dead the next day or dying.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, what is this? It was Symphony San Romeo bourbon vinyl from this place, onlinefabricstore.net. Don't go looking there. Do not look at their discount section at the $9 a yard linen viscose blend in black that I want. Like, there's no tomorrow. But no, don't even look.
You know what's so funny? You're totally reminding me of a story yesterday. So, like, I talk about it all the time. Like, I weirdly get along with my ex-wife's husband. Like, he's my friend. I love the guy. And we were hanging out yesterday, and like in the middle of the conversation, he looks at me and I'm like, "What? Why are you looking at me?" He's like, "I don't know if I should tell you this." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "They've opened up a discount fabric store in our town."
Oh no. Oh no.
I got my son and I was like, "Take me there, please." We went there. I didn't buy anything. I didn't buy anything because I'm on the same thing of the low buy, no buy because I live in a fabric store.
Yeah, I don't need anything, and I just happened to be at the Goodwill. Oh, and I didn't bring them out, but I found a pair of brand new thigh-high platform stiletto faux suede boots.
Wow.
I know. I was like, these are for in-house wear performance boots only because it's been raining and I would get stuck in the mud in those tiny stilettos. But they're so beautiful, and they were my size.
It's been raining here too. I don't know what this stuff from the sky that is continuously falling. What is this? Is this winter? What is this?
Yeah, I keep joking to folks, this is the year winter never ended, and we're supposed to get snow again tonight into tomorrow morning. But my daffodils are blooming and there's ants creeping into the house, so it must be spring, but it's still winter.
Almost the same. Almost the same. Like literally the same with the daffodils and the ants.
Yeah, the human has been on a rampage with the ant killer, especially because they're in my vanity right now, and I've got dead ants on my beauty corner, which is why I have yet again to put my face on. But at least I did my skincare.
Ants are a weird divining rod though, because they let me know the rain's coming. When they start coming in the house, I'm like, "Oh crud! It's really gonna rain. Like it's really gonna rain."
I know this corset turned out so beautifully, but the lace, I have no lacing gap, so it's at least 2 inches too big. So I trimmed off 2 centimeters on each side.
You totally reminded me. So my hat venture is coming along. Okay.
Oh, that one looks. Wait, hey, you found some stuff.
I'm getting better with each hat.
It's a skill. That's like my first corset was a janky mess, and they just get better with time. Oh, Gilroy, I'd kill to be able to find those kinds of shoes and boots. My feet are just big enough to be outside of the standard sizes, and I have to buy from specialty stores. Yeah, it's good to be a size 6 sometimes.
Okay, so Kilroy, if you're ever in LA, call Grandpa Sewing and I'll take. I feel like a grandpa because I'm wearing my overalls today.
Right, you'll take them to the drag store and they've got whatever you want, size 13, 17. We can get you the platform
Hollywood Boulevard. I wear size 13. I've actually gone there oddly looking for a tap shoe. They'll have any type of shoe in larger. It's on Hollywood Boulevard. It's like the drag queens talk about it all the time.
I know. I just want to go look at the fabric district because it's been a while since I've been to like those giant warehouse fabric stores with expensive things and cheap things and all the notions and all the everythings.
There's a young man that keeps on popping up on my shorts. He obviously is a real life tailor, but he made this dress from this material that was 10 cents a yard, and you could see it fraying on his sewing machine and everything, and it came out perfect.
Oh God.
I think, and I oddly think he was somewhere in LA. Like I'm always looking for street signs when I'm
right.
watching.
You're like, where can I talk? What did you have in your background that tells me where I could Google map you to?
Well, like Dallas, Texas, LA, Seattle, New York is its own planet, but like certain cities kind of look alike. Right. Portland, like they're not all the same, but they all kind of have the same map,
Yeah.
So I need street signs to see where these people are at.
Right. Let's see. Kilroy's got some tips for you. He says you've got to figure out how to make the tops of your hats flat, like really flat. That'll make your hats look killer.
I agree. Short of because I have all kinds of weird stuff in here, and because we're family, I'll tell you my secret. I used my grandma's old hair dryer for the bottom of to round this hat. So this is the side. I have a hair dryer in here, or whatever it is. Those machines that it's a self perm machine. I don't know what it is.
Oh yes, hey Liz, you got what?
Hey.
This is the first time this has happened to me. You got unsubscribed from my channel, but you're here for my link on Twitter. Well, that's good. I'm sorry that I'm sorry that you're the first victim of the YouTube unsubscribe without your consent feature.
That actually happens all the time. There was someone that used to claim that. I didn't believe them, but it's true. It's true. Because it happened to me.
I believe it, but this is the first time that I've been that my station's been affected. Wow, they know enough about me now that I've got 32 people who subscribe to me.
I think it's like Google yourself and you'd be surprised. Like I always Google godless sewing and then people like legitimately type in weird stuff looking up weird facts about me on Google. It's weird. Or my real name, that pops right up. People are weird.
Yeah, I don't think it helps that I have a public website that actually has my real name for not that this is a fake business, but my like day job business. I'm sure you were mad. I feel so bad. That's silly. We can't blame Susan anymore. I don't know who the new guy's name is. Oh, but Kilray really wants one of those perm hair dryer blow up things. Because I don't want to hold up a blow dryer. My bathroom doesn't have any outlets, so I have a hair dryer, but never use it because my bathroom has no outlets.
If I had hair, I would totally be walking around with a big perm. And Isaiah is of that age where he doesn't think I'm cool anymore, so he won't let me perm his hair.
Oh, he just needs like what my mom to do. You just need to do a wet set and let him slip over. Wow, words are hard again today. Sleep overnight with rollers in and be indoctrinated into the cool kids club like I do when I want my hair to be, because it curls, but I don't use enough product and it's super dry here. So
when he was younger, he'd let me do anything with his hair. And so there was at least 2 or 3 times I gave him the Farrah Fawcett.
Oh my God.
And then there was one time I straightened his hair and I put it on Facebook. Everybody's mom was like, "You need to cut that boy's hair." Like, all the conservative moms came at me and they're like, "Cut that boy's hair now."
You're welcome, Liz. I'm glad I did put up a link on Twitter to all my stuff. All right, you rush to work. We'll be safe and send up the flare if we need to call in a rescue mission.
So I was watching Gangs of New York and I made this big hat because I was watching Gangs of New York. So this is Gangs of Godless Sewing right here.
That's too funny.
Is totally Daniel Day-Lewis inspired right here.
Yeah, or like oddly Little House on the Prairie farmer girl boy human.
It's the overalls that are, oh my chair is dying. It slowly sinks by itself and it's getting annoying.
That's why you need a nice vintage chair that doesn't have a stiff
but I have
higher or lower thing.
Because I refurbish everything, I have plans on going to the Goodwill, sitting on every chair and finding the springs that work and just buying that and replacing the bottom.
Fair. Oh, you gave yourself overnight pin curls. That was an experience. I'm still not the master at pin curls. I wish, but I figured out how to use the foam rollers to kind of do that same thing. And yes, you could hide a kilo of lots of things underneath that.
I'm thinking about making a giant black one right now. I'm like really thinking about it because I thought I only had 4 yards of felt, and in my cleaning, excuse me, I found another 5 yards.
Okay, so
And
you've got like 30 hats you can make out of that much.
and I cut it in half. And for anyone who knows felt, like behind this flag is my old recliner. If you look at my old videos, I have this giant recliner and I have a bunch of stuff on it. I forgot I had a mountain of felt on there. But I've been on this whole last year I had a lot of drama, so I'm on this whole like cleansing, like cleaning my house. I'm redoing my backyard, I'm making a habitat for my feral cat.
Oh, sweet. Have you given him a name yet?
No, because I'm so shocked it's still around, because the elements are harsh. There's just so many other animals around, and it keeps showing up. I'm telling you, if that thing morphs into a human and asks me to go on a quest, I'm going.
Right, because then you know his name is Odin, and you should be careful.
One eye, it shows up like the cat. It's I'm really respectful to my one-eyed cat. It's just the whole happened, the whole way the cat showed up and everything. It's the strangest thing. So
I had a cat who lived with me just for a year because he showed up a couple days before quarantine happened, and he would jump over the fence and roll around like he was an outdoor cat, but he had the spirit of a house cat. And a couple days later, he showed up, and I knew he was not housed because he lifted up his tail and he was still packing. And I'm like, okay, yep. You haven't gone in the big snip yet. And then he had a giant gash in one of his paws. So he literally spent his 2 weeks in kitty quarantine, and his name was Dodgebog, which I probably shouldn't have picked. The Slavic god for smoke is his name. But he was this beautiful blue-gray, sweetest little boy. But he had... I knew he wasn't right. Something was wrong with him in the summertime because he was just very tachypnic, breathed really fast, and he had congenital feline cardiomyopathy. So his heart was just too big, and he threw a blood clot, and I gave him the best year that he could have had, but that boy still steals my heart.
That's how I feel about my cat. Like in situations like that, that's all you can do is just give that, whatever the situation's in, the best life that you can at that moment,
Yup.
That's why I was Googling, like, what can you not feed cats? Because when the cat first came around, I'm like, I hope you like chicken. And the cat loves chicken.
Just no salt, just plain boiled chicken. They'll eat it. Dashi loved popcorn. I would sit with a bowl of popcorn, and he would stick his head and just take popcorn out of my bowl and eat with me. I've got videos of it. It's That's probably awesome. If you scroll back on my Instagram a couple years, there's a clip of him. He was such a special boy.
I cringe at my Instagram. I go through my Instagram and I'm like, I still feel like that. I don't feel like that. Still feel like that. And the Karen I was in a band with that I thought it was that person, and they totally accepted my friend request. Because, I'm not, it's weird. How do you feel about people who have private Instagrams? Like, why are you there? Am I
maybe it's just for your friends and family, like if they don't want to be on Facebook and just want to show pictures. Maybe
But I'm a consummate salesman, so I'm like, why do you have a private page? Like, what are you here for? You know?
Right. Yeah. Or maybe they're trying to do it to promote their OnlyFans and they don't want their friends and family to see.
That is true, but Facebook, no, Liz, I haven't named the cat yet. Facebook kind of ruined that because I tried to keep Godless Sewing separate from my Facebook
Yeah.
because a lot of people that I know, they see me as this scary biker dude, and they haven't seen, like, and these are people who honestly have not seen me in 20 something years, especially people I went to high school with, elementary school. All they know me as is either in my truck or on a bike or something crazy. So when they
Yeah.
see Godless Sewing, they're like, hey, his voice has not changed in 20 something years. I'm waiting for it too, guys. I'm waiting for it. With my
Maybe it's time for some TRT. Then you can get the normal voice.
It trips people out because my voice has not changed since I was a kid.
Thanks, Liz. I was attempting to not look like a disheveled Shlomo today.
Which is ironic because I'm attempting to because it's raining and I'm like, why is it still raining? Says the guy who literally lived in Portland, Oregon, and the sun came out for like 30 days, I think, my first year there. It rained
Right, I know.
every
And you
day.
guys have been in a drought like we have, so we can't begrudge the rain because we're like, and I'm afraid it's because of all the rain and the snow that it's going to be a horrible fire season this year because of all the underbrush growth. I'm just dreading it.
Same. And that's another thing. I'm waiting for it to stop raining so we can do brush clearing. That's part of my job. Like that's when we do the hard work. Because we're
Right.
brush clearing for months and months. And we take it back
Yeah.
to where we legally can. Because I've learned fires don't care.
Yeah, this is probably true. Killer says they lock down a lot of their crap. It's just for a group I'm in, or I only want to select people to read it, or I want to keep it away from bots who scrape websites. Yeah.
It's dark and it's gross. It's raining right now. What I was gonna say is Facebook started linking people with their Instagrams. And so because it doesn't say Williams, so my last name is very close to sewing. And it says Godless Sewing. And quite a few people have commented. They're like, "Oh, you've had a YouTube channel for years and you haven't told me." It's kind of one of those things. Like if I switched my phone and haven't given you the phone number, it's a clue.
Right. I know. I wish it wouldn't show my name on my Instagram because then I keep getting like DMs from people or like weird like buy stuff from Sheen or Shine or whatever that stupid company is so we can sponsor you. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't want your crappy clothes. I make my own for a reason.
I feel like that too. Like even what if okay, Killstar. I watch a lot of gothic people on YouTube. What if Killstar came for you? And that's slave clothing. That is
I
straight
know.
slave.
Yeah, no, I think I like it for the ideas of stuff to make for myself, but I did my time shopping at Hot Topic and no, I will make my own cute stuff that's dark and goth.
I think about that all the time.
Oh, I'm glad you had some sun yesterday.
It was Liz, you totally reminded me. Excuse me, we had 2 days of 70 degrees.
Stop making me jealous. It's
It
still in
felt
the
like
30s in the nighttime here.
I that conversation I was telling you about with Marquette, we were having the conversation in the sun because I always tell him like I need to get a tan because he's darker than I am, so he laughs at me whenever I say that. I'm like, I need a tan. I'm like, you don't know what I have to go through. I have to maintain my color.
Right. I have to work hard for this beautiful complexion. Oh, Kilroy. Right now we're in that time of the year where it's sunny and bright, but also 25, 30 degrees out. So it's like nature is lying. I remember those days. I also miss snowdrops, grape hyacinths, lilies of the valley. Cute flower. I guess I could get some bulbs for some of them, but for some reason, lilies of the valley, nobody grows them here, and I don't know why.
Lily of the Valley, A, reminds me of the Bible, and B, there's a trailer park over by my job because it's like on the outskirts of town, and it's called Lily of the Valley. And it's drama of the valley is what it is.
Speaking of drama, I don't know any of the movies that were at the Oscars, but I heard people complaining about how many folks like Anne Hesh, Leslie Jordan, Gilbert Godfrey, so many people who were Academy members who were left out of the in memoriam.
I think what's happening is they're becoming okay. After last year, first off, it was live on the West Coast to the point where it was over at like 8 o'clock or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it was on such it was on an extreme heavy delay. I think they just wanted to get through the ceremony with no drama because
they didn't want the slap to repeat itself.
I'm not kidding you. Last year, I didn't even know the Oscars was on. I was on Twitter and I'm like, I knew more about what happened with Will Smith than the people that were there. You know?
Oh.
Exactly.
Yeah, Tony Sirico, Paulie from The Sopranos. Yeah, there was
he died.
So many. Yeah.
Paulie
his daughter complained.
Do you know what's so funny? My ex-wife and I fought over very few things, and on our divorce papers were the box set of The Sopranos. And the judge was like, "You better grow up. One of you guys better grow up and make a choice." If anybody is bored, we can have a movie night of Sopranos at my house.
All right. Or we can stream it on Locals.
Oh, I've actually I've done that. I have an emulator actually that I'm looking for because I can hook it up to my computer and I can hook my VCR up to it so I can start broadcasting all the slasher movies I own.
Oh my gosh.
I own some bad ones too. I own some like man, somebody made this. It's some college kid in the 1970s made this.
Oh, that's too funny.
I am kind of inspired to make a top hat, or it's just
you're well on the way of the practice.
I like that movie. I like that stupid movie. Gangs of New York. I am one of those odd people that still has cable, and I absolutely love watching random movies on cable.
You should, Kilroy. Rumbles has gotten so much better. So the beauty about Rumbles and Locals are owned by the same company, and they have taken they are completely independent. They own all of their own servers. They do not run on Google, Amazon, Facebook API. They've built up everything. Their terms of service are very clear. The worst you could get is a year-long ban, and it's the community. There's some community members on the panel who decide, like, is this really a violation? So things like, to get kicked off, you literally have to have broken the law. So free speech is free there. There's no moving goalposts of words you can't say. Russell Brandt's, I know some of these creators are not everybody's cup of tea, but Russell Brandt has got an exclusive there over now. Same with Crowder and
I watched Russell Brand for years up until Brexit because I just didn't politically agree with him on that particular subject, and that's it.
Yep.
But I watched him for years and years and years.
Yeah, he's got an exclusive a pay-per-view comedy special over there right now.
I'm sincerely thinking about switching, not switching, but YouTube is effing me over. Because right now in my box it says that I have over 900 views on my last video. It only says I have 2 something. I don't know what's happened. They've like
Yeah, there's a huge delay in like my hours watched and view counts and stuff. It is way more democratic. The lawyers who helped to write their policy, Robert Barnes and Viva Friso Viva, is from Canada, who expated to Florida temporarily. Barnes has argued in front of the Supreme Court, was involved with the Amish farmer case, Amos something from Pennsylvania, to be able to sell like raw unpasteurized milk straight from the farm. So it's very clear their stuff. And Dina White's slap. What is it? The slap fighting is over there exclusively now with Dana White. So there's some interesting things.
So, as an ex-meathead, I love watching slap fighting. It is the strangest thing to me. And slap fighting has, it's in Vegas now. It's all over.
Right. Yeah, and you can simulcast. So I set up my streams. It's a pain in the fanny a little bit because you have to set up the custom RTMP. There's not like a hot link to just click when you do your streaming. But even before you have to have 25 subscribers on Rumble to live stream over there. But it used to, since they were linked, once my live stream on YouTube was over, it would pre-populate in Rumble. And there's no monetization requirements. So as long as people watch your stuff, or they can like send you Rumble rants, like the big people have the YouTube super chats, people can just directly donate to you on that platform.
Ever since Susan Wojcinski has left, YouTube has taken a dive. I said it the day it happened, but I'm starting to lean more and more towards something happened because I hear more content creators talking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Something is going on. Oh, Killer, you make me laugh. YouTube's trying to turn into a whore for advertisers. That's what's going on. Yeah.
No, that's real. On the Super Bowl, when I saw that they're taking the NFL, I was like, oh, I'm so screwed. When I saw that, I was like, I'm done. Because why would they care about small content creators when they have a juggernaut like the NFL?
Right, exactly. And there's so many people and it's so saturated. So I was like, I heard about these platforms and I was like, I'm going to be an early adopter. That and Patreon. So Locals is their version of Patreon. And the weird things that I've heard that people are doing, or that stupid, weird person, Jeremy Marsh, who's doing horrible things to kids, to talk to kids, it's good. He makes my skin crawl.
Is that the guy with the eyeliner that makes every gay man on earth look bad?
I think so. And he's going after the hijabi mommy from London, and his followers like are stalking her and her family. They figured out where her kids go to school, and she was like,
don't come by my house.
This person is grooming kids. Patreon has got like you have to be 18 years or over, but frequently on his TikToks, he's like, oh, kids, I'll be your family. You can come talk to me privately on Patreon. That blonde, nasty.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
Oh,
I know. I know exactly, because I'm in a weird group, like an anti like basically trying to expose people like that who makes it look bad for gay men when in reality this guy's a predator.
Exactly. I know that they're mad that gays against groomers are trying to go after these people, and they're like, oh, you're anti-gay, and I'm like, it's in the name. They are gays against groomers.
Don't let me see that guy. I'd have some words. I would have some serious words.
I might have some serious fists.
Every time I hear about Patreon, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, Killer Ray disagrees with Patreon too. They ban random people just because I know, right? Oh, Sydney Watson. I know I've been listening to more, not that I'm disenfranchised with all the parties, but right now the left would call me like some right-wing neocon, even though that's not at all what I am, but I just hate what the left is becoming. And yeah. And Etsy too. They've got dolls that should not be I don't even want to think about them. They're just gross and should not be. That somebody thought that was a good idea to make dolls with things is just gross. And that's all I'm going to say about that, because it's gross.
It's you know what? I think I'm gonna flood this jacket with patches. It trips me out what we allow our kids to watch, but I want everyone to look up 1980s Mighty Mouse. That was I watched it. It was sexually suggestive. I watched Pepe Le Pew. Pepe, like I said last week, Pepe Le Pew would have caught a charge by today's standard.
Oh, all the old Disney movies. There's so much like, even History of the World Part 2. I watched most of it. My human hated it. I thought it was hysterical. I'm at the very end. I've got like a couple minutes left to watch in the last episode. But you have to be like smart to get the joke. My friend was like, "Oh, it's adult content." And I'm like, "Only if you understand the jokes." There was a whole bit about farts and potty humor. Everybody likes a good potty joke. Don't
That's
they?
what made Eddie Murphy famous, was potty and poop jokes, you know.
Right. Like, if you're not smart enough, you won't get the joke fully, but you can still laugh, because there was the whole bit about Shirley, I'm going to forget her name again, the first African-American senator, congressperson from the Bronx.
Shirley Chisholm.
Shirley Chisholm. There was a great bit about her. Harriet Tubman made an appearance via Wanda Sykes. It was pretty good.
I've seen that part.
Oh, yes. Kilroy, call myself a lefty, but DM, a lot of lefties are completely in their own world. 100%. You got to be in touch with reality to change anything for the better. 100%.
So, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, and Liz, yeah, we did watch some questionable things. And yep, Looney Tunes, old MGM, Hanna-Barbera cartoons, they all had jokes for kids and adults. 100%. And yeah.
Before I forget, I was going to say, I considered myself a lefty until I got online and realized that I wasn't. And I got trashed by the very people who, I think in today's world, both left and right, there's too much tokenism, or too much, like, people virtue signal so hard that they don't realize what they're virtue signaling for. Then they're standing next to it and they're like, "Oh, I really don't like gay people," or I really don't like black people.
Yeah, right. It's like the token everything, and we're so caught up in the protecting the protected classes that we're blind to seeing when they're actually engaging in criminal behavior or are just an assholery.
And that's another thing. Like, you have to take personal responsibility. One thing that I'm from the suburbs. If you take race out of it, and I love saying that because it drives people crazy, but if you take race out of it, one of my biggest pet peeves in life are people who take no responsibility for their own actions, but they want utter and complete consequences for everyone else. But they don't accept but they don't want any consequences in their life.
Right. We're like, I'm privileged because I'm pretty, or I'm this, or I'm that, or whatever the label of the day is going to get the attention. And it's just...
I saw this lady on Twitter griping about how she's like, "Oh, I can tell a lefty because they're not a hard worker," and blah, 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 blah. And you know what? As someone who's an actual employer, I agree with her, but it's not about left or right. It's more of a generational thing.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know what the answer is, because I come from a world of extreme discipline and it didn't work.
Right, but you still figured out that you got to like get out of bed, brush your teeth, make your bed, take a shower, and not feel entitled to like, oh, I should get my government paycheck now because I exist, therefore I deserve it.
I come from a weirdly privileged family, and I truly believe because my father was raised like on real life 40 acres and a mule, and my mother, she grew up middle class. She like grew up LA middle class. She's never struggled in her life. But like my parents were all about working hard. You had to earn everything where I'm from. Still to this day, like there's a lot of people in my family who would never take my job because you actually have to work it. It's a real job, you know, and it's not for the faint of heart, you know. And I watch my cousins. I had a cousin who got a $300,000 loan and spent it within a year.
Oh my God,
you give me 300,000, I'll still have it 10 years from now.
Right, and I will have made money. I will figure out how to have grown it to double that.
Damn right. Damn
it's
right.
Just, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Liz, try to be in the middle of the road and listen to all sides. Absolutely. Let's see here. Kilroy's sage words. Even the Bible has something to say about that. Basically, be careful how you judge people because that's how you will be judged yourself.
Yeah, right.
Oh, you're one of these people. I don't make my bed, but that's because I sleep better in a messy bed than a made one. Fair. If that works for you, I feel better sleeping in a made bed, but to each their own on that one. You grew up working since you were 6, Liz. Oh my goodness.
I oddly get up and make my bed every day. Every day. I fold my blankets depending on the time of year, how many I'm using. Like,
yep.
I oddly, like, I'm washing blankets right now. When this is over, I will continue washing my blankets.
I know. Yeah, I need to do some laundry when this is over, but.
Hey, Skits.
Hey, honey.
I expect you to be there tomorrow.
I know. You've seen what you've been starting.
I want to see your sewing machine. The second he sent me a picture, I've almost bought that sewing machine like 4 or 5 times. So I'm so interested to see it work.
Right, so now we need a review. We need a sewing machine review video from a novice who would actually be the best person to do a review.
Exactly. And he sent me a picture of a stitch, and I was like, you're 9 steps ahead of the average person.
Yep. Allowance is big enough.
I'm thinking about a while ago, I used to call my streams the sewing circle.
Yep.
But now all the people that I used to stream with, we all literally hate each other. So I'm thinking about resurrecting the sewing circle. I'm thinking about
right. Perfect, because that's why I call mine the stitch and bee, because I can't say bitchin' on my thumbnails. So I'm like, this is what we're here for.
I like the thought of a sewing circle, and like pre-COVID, when I used to hang out with the old ladies, like we would literally sit in a circle and sew. It was the most. I was like, this is the most adult thing I've ever done in my life. I would look around and be like, I finally have made it. Like I'm sewing with old ladies. And for all concerned, I still hang out with perfect. Linda. She recently came to my house. She makes blankets for the people at my job.
Aww.
And so she'll show up at my house and she's like, I made 20 blankets for you. And I'm like, and I thank you.
Is this millimeter going to make a difference? Do I really need to remark all these seams?
I did the same thing, Kilroy, and I still do it. I'm like, I weirdly am reading about Taoism right now.
I'm one of those people. When I get out of my angry atheist phase, I wanted to try to read up as much as I could about every religion, so I didn't go back into that. That was so exhausting.
It is.
Yay. Welcome. Liz says Linda sounds awesome.
I have known her my entire life. She always tells me she's known me longer than I've known myself because she was there when I was born.
Aww.
I used to hang out with her daughters when I was a kid. Both of her daughters used to spend the night at my house when I was a kid. We're still all friends, and they are hardcore evangelical Christians. What religion has Awanas? They dress up.
Oh,
They. It's for children. It's like because Catholics have catechism classes, CCD, and this
right.
religion had Awanas, and they would let me go because I was indoctrinated in a religion just like they were. But they're just good people. They're just good people, you know. And
Right. Right. We got to judge people on whether they're a good human rather than the labels that they give themselves.
like I walk in their house full regalia, godless patches. Like I have a patch with Trump offing himself. We hang out. They take pictures with me, put me on Facebook. Like they're still my family, you know.
Yeah.
They're good people. And it doesn't and like I say, I live in a Mormon neighborhood, and even the neighbor that I recently had trouble with wasn't Mormon. So they're pretty good to me. Evangelical
Right.
Boy Scouts. Yes, it is.
Hillary, you know, what don't you know? Just, you need to pop on and chat with us because you are an interesting human.
They, but I still to this day, I forgot how hardcore religious she was until someone that we all mutually knew passed away, and they were English, and they were like, oh, blah 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 is an atheist, and in a room of grown adults, she's like, oh, he's going to hell, and everybody rolled their eyes. 5 people left the room. They were like, we are not having this conversation. I forgot because she's such a welcoming person, you know.
I kind of did too. I thought you did say iguana.
Kilroy really does know everything because my accent is off. But yeah, the Awanas, they did wear scarves and everything, like the Boy Scouts. They
Yeah.
were, again, they weren't creepy. They were good to me, and they had really cool toys in their Sunday school church thing. So I loved going there.
That's all that matters. Do they have good toys? And how's the coffee?
Do you know a lot of people talk about bad experiences? I had the fortunate experience, and this is gonna sound weird, but like I was around a lot of positive men and women. So like when I talk about these churches and things, like I had good experiences. They treated me like gold. I was always the odd person out because I was the only person of color within 100 miles. They treated me like gold. I did not have one bad experience, even in my
Awesome.
Catholic upbringing,
Right.
No, because I always hear horror stories, and I'm like, it was cultish, but like it was a loose cult.
It wasn't like Scientology. I knew how I knew that I could get out if I wanted to.
Gene Roddenberry Drive right now. You can walk in there and sign a contract and join that religion right now.
Right.
Anyone,
Yep.
they'll take you. It's like the military. You sign your life away. It's weird.
Yep. So odd.
But we recognize the military in a we honor the military. It's a little bit different with the Scientology.
That's true. But Scientology also doesn't sacrifice their lives for us in times of need.
No, and they own more land than the military. Technically doesn't own land. The Scientology owns everything over here.
Oh, cult light. Oh, you all make me laugh. Thanks for coming over and hanging out with me, you all. Let's just, if anything funny happens, let's just not hate on each other's chats if anything goes awry in the future. Let's just be cordial adults still. Not that I'm expecting anything bad, but too much weird funny business. I don't even have a list for today, but I have been watching Shadow and Bone, and I thought that a jacket out of that So out of that vinyl,
Oh, that looks good.
I've got some black faux fur upholstery trim, double-breasted buttons with a detachable hood that I think I would tie on and off because I hate putting in press snaps. And if they some and oh, I was gonna pull it. I'll pull it up on my phone. I'm trying to decide which silk to line it with, so you guys can help me
Awesome.
decide once I pull up the picture here.
You like
Go ahead.
inspired me to clear my table, and all I did was make it into just a bigger ashtray.
Oh,
so I'm gonna clear this and put my stuff.
All right, I'm gonna make myself big for a minute. So we have that brown with this pink silk with white details, or this gold silk that is not showing up that's got gold and white and black. So I'm open to suggestions while we catch up on the chat here. Let's see here. I will share my screen again, catch up with Kilroy. Yes, mom, up until recent. Oh, are you English, Kilroy? Your mom recently always involved herself with those small country chapels, so it was basically normal people who got together every week. The few times I went, it was at least not bad. Well, that's good. And hopefully the coffee was good. Okay, yay, you are resubscribed, so hopefully they're not salty. Oh, I see something. I was watching and listening to America's Untold Stories on Scientology. I knew it was weird, but I didn't know it was that weird. Yeah, seriously. And Mark Crowbear seriously knows everybody. When he jokes about his friend Oliver, he means Oliver Stone.
Scientology is no joke. It is no joke.
It's a good thing I smoke a pipe. If I smoked cigarettes, I'd need an ashtray the size of a bathtub.
I used to collect like old ashtrays for that very reason, because I smoked like a chimney.
Oh, a tackle box for all your new sewing stuff. We have a new convert to the cult of sewing. This is the right cult to be in.
Skits, this is a DeWalt box. This is meant for screws, man. This is all patches. This is nothing but patches in here. I am all about using things for their non-intended. One day when I come out of my hoarding shell, because this side of the room is like presentable, everything else is like hoarder, where I should be on the show.
Oh God, I used to watch that show to remind me to not be like that, because
recently, do you know on Vice they started showing Intervention? Isaiah like weirdly has been watching it. I walked in the room, I was like, I can't take this. I can't. It's too harsh, man. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts.
Yeah, I think I used to watch my 6 Pound Life for the same reason. I was like, but it was sad because everybody had like the same backstory.
Yes. I can't watch people doing drugs, like real drugs on TV. I can't. It hurts me for some reason.
Not English, but spent teens basically watching and listening to nothing but BBC and reading nothing but English authors. Fair. It's just cute. I see mom and I think that other country across the pond.
Damn right, Kilroy. Damn right. It's not hoarding if you know what you have.
Okay, good. Oh, perfect. Sweet Jesus.
But that's why I pride myself on, like, my house is presentable. Like right now, if someone walked in my house, they'd be like, your patches do not match your living room, sir, at all. Not at all. I pride myself on it. I buy like real country patterns and make pillows and stuff. Like, it's actually a hobby of mine.
So we're in the shabby chic grunge meets new age death metal meets biker culture.
My someone I've known for a long time, she always tells me, she's like, you're so steampunk. I don't even know what that means. I don't do any of the steampunk stuff, but I make all of my own stuff.
I don't think that's the definition of steampunk.
Me neither. But keep in mind, like everybody who I associate with is like over 50.
Just watching Agatha Christie for hours on end counts as English. I don't know, but it works for Kilroy, so we'll defer to others.
I was about to say I could go off about English television. I have pockets full of Rye on VHS. I've watched it hundreds of times, and because of COVID, like I could literally like tell you the entire screenplay word for word. Because during COVID, I tuned the world out and I watched every VHS I own. I was like,
Good
okay,
man.
if the world's gonna end, I'm not gonna watch it.
Right, I'm gonna live in my bubble, be an ostrich, and just enjoy my final hours here.
Why not? You know, a long time ago, I posted a meme of an asteroid falling and a bunch of people with their phones out, and it was like, this is what would happen if the asteroid hit the Earth today, and it's true. Like, people would be taking a picture of it for no one to see it.
Yeah, well, that was like was it last year, 6 months ago? New York City had that new public service safety announcement for how to survive a nuclear blast.
Oh yeah,
That was really funny. Like as if you had a place that you could actually get to in time.
So, brush up on the chat, and I'll give everyone a fun
Okay.
fact.
All right, Kilroy. I've been told I'm old-fashioned. I'm not sure what that means. I do cook most of my own food and try hard to fix things rather than buy new. I guess by today's standards, that is old-fashioned, but I think we're just gonna say that we are just normal human beings. And I know how to actually make some things from a basic concept. Yes. Oh, Poirot was the man. Yes.
Perot was the man. If he ever pulled you in the room, somebody was a murderer.
And you better hoped it wasn't you.
So, because of the age and the way it was built, and they're rated, but because of the weird age, I don't have to put a sign. The gym that I film in and the auditorium that I film in are both rated to take a nuclear blast because they were made in the 50s.
Awesome.
The gym, I would trust it more than anything else because it doesn't have windows.
Right.
But the auditorium, it has these giant metal things that lock over the windows. So, like, you would literally be trapped in that room. I would rather be trapped in the gym.
Yeah.
But yeah, both of those rooms are made to survive a nuke.
Basically, was the nuclear advisory: put your head between your knees and kiss your ass goodbye. It should have been. It was meant to. It seemed like it was designed to make poor people or folks of lesser means feel like they had a chance, because the real feeling was if you weren't rich, you're SOL anyway. So just.
I think about this all the time. It would be only people with access to military style bunkers that would survive.
Yep.
Or some weirdo like me that just happens to have a giant brick building.
Right. Yeah.
And the building was made to basically stop you from a nuclear wave, not a blast.
Okay, so it'll take the fallout, but not a direct hit.
I don't think anything could. It literally rips the atoms apart and shoves them everywhere else. That's where you get the initial whoosh. It's literally taking your atoms apart. So, like, if you were standing in the middle of it, you would literally experience yourself being pulled apart, atom by atom. That's why nukes are so horrible.
Yeah, that sounds terrible. Or like the radiation sickness where like you're dead, your cells are no longer replicating, but you've got like hours or weeks to like just slowly finish dying.
Oh, what's it called? Oh, because I know this because of Daniel Jackson, because I watched that episode so many times. Oh, there's a name for it where your innards start cooking themselves.
Yeah.
When you get nuclear radiation.
Oh, can play a pickup game during the apocalypse inside the gym, but you can put on a Shakespeare production during the apocalypse in the auditorium.
I okay, but in the gym I have full hockey gear, so we could literally ice skate with the devil, you know.
Or rollerblade with the devil.
Exactly.
Oh.
Nets and everything.
Oh, skits. I may or may not still have a nuclear biological suit from the chemical suit from the army. Well, I'm glad that you may or may not have that. And could you send me one, please? Or two. A mini and a full size human. Yeah, and there was that earthquake in Ecuador today, or was that early yesterday? I don't remember.
I'm ready. I just am gonna cry when half of this stuff falls on the floor. I have gas generators, tons of rounds for weirdos and looters.
Yeah,
But I'm gonna cry when I have to pick up all this stuff up off the floor.
I know. This is probably too Kilroy. If you get nuked directly, you'd be unconscious and dead before you knew it. Fair. Yeah, and I think if that happened, I don't want to know. Just leave me to the crows.
Same. The crows wouldn't even be around. Do you know? I think I've said this before. The original movie, The Day After, is a scary movie. If you ever feel like freaking yourself out, watch it.
Okay.
I'm one of those weird people who have it on DVD because I collect depressing movies. But it unapologetically shows the side effects of what would happen of flash blindness.
Yeah.
They show people slowly losing their skin. Like, it's unreal. It's
Yeah.
unreal.
Ugh, creepy. Let's see here. Just watch. Just as California gets rid of the last gas engine generator, that fault's gonna start rumbling and tumbling. Seriously, I think is this their version of like covert overpopulation control of like, we don't want you to be able to take care of yourselves, so we're just gonna control you?
Okay. First off, before I go off, the census is a lie. Okay, the census is a lie. They say that there's 10 million people in LA County. No, it's probably like 17. Just with
because of all the undocumented and homeless.
And you know what? I'm not talking about people just from Mexico. There's a joke that there's more people from Korea in LA than in South Korea. Like we have a very high population of people from China as well. The people from the Philippines, Southeast Asian people, and a lot of people. And I'm not anti-immigration. At this point, I don't care because there's so many undertones with it. I don't care. Legally, if they do it legally or unlegally, they're already here.
Yeah. Did LA County have one of those CCP police departments like they have in New York City?
They're not as hardcore.
Okay.
But La Migra does arrest people every once in a while just to remind them that they're around. La Migra is immigration in Spanish for anyone who doesn't. But they don't play. But the feds have kind of hated California ever since pot was legalized. So the feds have kind of abandoned us.
Yeah. Yes.
Yay.
Oh, Western Pennsylvania. That's why I'm glad I'm in Western PA. From a legal standpoint, it's the Eastern Europe minus the price. Nobody cares. I miss that part of the country. I lived an hour outside of Erie and 3 hours outside of Pittsburgh, so I'm very fond of that part of the state. Lancaster County, love it.
I'm not anti-immigration, and I'm gonna tell you, whenever I leave California, it's weird to me when I don't see people of color everywhere. I'm not like when I first moved to Oregon, it was weird to me to not see I'm gonna say it because I am to see Mexican people everywhere because I speak Spanish, and so I love the look on people's face when they're like, "You speak Spanish?" Like, I love that look. There was no one that spoke Spanish.
I did growing up, but they were from Puerto Rico. I didn't meet somebody from Mexico until I moved west.
I lived in Oregon almost 20 years ago. And so the demographics were way different, you know. And
Yeah.
I found the Hispanic neighborhood because I went looking, you know.
You're like, I need some sweetie treaties that only that Mexican grannies make.
Oh, I had a friend who like she was from Acapulco, and like I forgot the medicinal properties of Mexican food.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I hadn't had real Mexican food in such a long time, and she cooked like my grandmother, and I was like, "Oh, this reminds me of home. I forgot how good this is." Like, and
Right.
my grandmother cooked a lot of German dishes, and it just like she cooked Osterbraten.
Uh-huh.
She cooked all kinds of lamb. Like it just reminded me of certain things, you know.
Yeah.
I love the old school ways.
Right. BBC. I'd like some Wiener Schnitzel, please.
Do you know they got rid of like okay, I'm gonna go off about this tomorrow, but I
Okay.
I have a question for you.
All right.
How much are the Fiskars mats near your house? Like a standard size mat.
I I don't know because I think I'd have to drive 15 miles to the next town over to find one. Because I don't have I only have. There's not. Oh, I guess I could go to the quilt shop. I haven't been to look for a while. I think when I got my big green one that's, what, 36 by 28, I feel like it was 30 or $50, and that was a hot minute ago.
Okay. So the one I have right now, I paid $20 and it came with a rotary cutter and and it came with this thing too. And I freaking use this for everything.
Oh, yes. I had to get mine separate, but I do like one of those.
This thing is if you ever see a straight line, I use this literally. I will cry if I break this. Like,
Yeah. Oh, mine is broken and I still. Oh. I think I bought it broken. It's missing a. It's
I'd still use it too. But I took pictures. I didn't say anything because I'm a real life Karen, and I was like, maybe I'm tripping. But they wanted $46 for the mat that I paid 20, but just the mat by itself.
Yeah.
And then because I was like, okay, I'm gonna go get a new mat. But like I'm on this whole like stop wasting money thing. And a table sized mat was $60.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I have certain principles. And I think because I came from the refurbishing, like I started off making battle vests. And a battle vest, you find a patch on the ground, you get a t-shirt at the 99-cent store. That's how you make a battle vest, you know? So it's against my. I cried when I paid $80 for an iron.
Exactly. Oh, let's see here. Mexican. Liz loves Mexican food, and Kilroy, I swear, hot shit in general is medicinal. I feel a lot better and get sick
Absolutely.
less if I eat hot shit regularly. Yes, I love me some good spicy Korean kimchi. Ooh, a 24 by 36 for $30. I know, but that's just the mat. That $20 for all that stuff, that was a steal.
I got it at Walmart.
When I need to cut fabric laser straight, I use a regular Dixon Ticonderoga pencil and an X-Acto knife. I don't trust anything else. Oh my God, those yellow old-fashioned Dixon Ticonderoga pencils.
I guarantee you I probably have one in here.
I'm like, I don't. I think I've just got my fancy like HB drawing pencils and my charcoal pencil. I'll have to search to see if I've got a real pencil.
There, my seeds. Oh, it needs to stop raining so I can start planting.
It's gotta get above 30 in the nighttime, or I'm gonna have to start my starts on in the house, which I'm probably like 3 months late for doing.
I feel like I'm behind planting because last year I had a jump, and like you can see the progression of my my main plant. I called it my tomatoes, but that thing became a tree. And I'm not kidding you. Like I made tea out of my pot plant, but I made my last batch of tea like a month ago. I was drinking, like I had so much from my bush, my giant bush, like it lasted like 5 months. to the point where I quit smoking it. I was drinking it because I had so much.
We had one of those 2 years ago, and then last year, I wasn't sure if it was the same prodigy, but the first year it was called Big Boy, and the second year it was called Stubbs because it was just short and round and full.
So this year, I'm like coming with all my experience, like I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh,
I smoke too
man.
much. I smoke way too much. If the Lung and Heart Association got their hands on me, they would be like, "Stop saying you have asthma. You're the worst person on earth. You're the worst poster boy ever."
I had asthma before I started all this shit. Sorry.
Well, the way I look at it, like, I was born using 60% of my lungs. I stupidly smoked cigarettes for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And like, smoking pot isn't going to do any more damage than what's already there,
Right.
And unlike smoking nicotine, I got to the point where I couldn't breathe, and I was in my 30s. I had to quit.
I'm sorry, Kilroy. You grew up planting and tending a massive garden, and I was going to try another one this year, but a couple years ago, I couldn't get anything bigger than a sapling, so I'm kind of over it. Oh. I just wish I could grow cucumbers here, like my grandma used to grow in her giant garden, but it's so hot and so dry. I can't rationalize the water usage for my cucumber habit.
You totally. My father used to grow. My parents grew food when I was a kid as well, and I don't think I had zucchini or cucumber or like a carrot that wasn't grown from the backyard until I was like lived on my own.
Yeah. I know. I miss certain things, but drought sucks.
I think if it wasn't for POT and my potatoes are more exciting to me even more than my POT because I'm like, I'm growing food and I have chili pepper. It's so weird. But with all this rain, like I already have potatoes.
Mine have not started to crop up yet, but my catnip has come back already. Oh man, killer! Oh, let's see here. Oh, Liz, mom was always a gardener. I want to learn, but I don't think I'd be good at it. It's just practice, and you just have to do it. You can start stuff in a pot in a little patio. You don't need a lot of space. Just do it and talk to them and water them. I grew up with wood and coal stove. I brewed so much smoke by the time I was 12 that there's nothing that any tobacco or pot on earth can do to me at this point.
You know what, Liz, I have a really weird hippie cousin who gives really she's a weirdo, but she gave as a parting gift to a party one year, she gave everyone tiny cactuses. And I named it Little D. Little D is like, I don't know, a foot, 2 feet by now. Like I still have it. You'd be surprised. Get a plant. And that plant is what started my obsession with all my other house plants. I have a ton of house plants. I have a money tree. It's a sense of pride to me that I can keep a plant alive in my dwelling.
I know. And then I've had plants and I've lost plants. They come and go. Fortunately, I just got a resurrection plant, so I can't kill that one. You stop watering it and it just comes back again.
Are those green ones that get dark green?
Here, let me go and grab it. I'll hold on 1 second. Nope, wrong headphone.
Oh, Liz, the pineapples. I'm gonna have 3 giant. Oh,
and then you put it in water and it opens up and turns a little green, and then when you forget to water it, um it shrinks back up again, and then it'll get big again.
I'm obsessed with weird desert succulents because
Yes.
I was looking for a replacement for grass, and I just got obsessed with a whole different breed of plants I didn't even know existed.
Right. See, Killer has got this right, Liz. Gardening is easier than most people think. The thing is doing the right thing for your area and climate. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Find the USDA extension offices or the university, the OHSU extension in New York. I always thought of the Cornell extension, but there's classes or the Master Gardener classes. I just get worried I'm going to kill the poor guys. That's part of the experience, and sometimes plants die.
Absolutely.
It's okay. It's not a character flaw. I mean, my sister, when she came to visit, we got stapelias, and yeah, I forgot to water mine, so I bought myself a new one.
I'm laughing because I've done that just to be like, nope, didn't kill this plant. Because sometimes my people in my life will walk in my house and they're like, I'm surprised you haven't killed this tree yet. I'm very proud of you for it still being alive. Not knowing how many times I've replaced it.
It's okay, Liz. You just have to. So get yourself. This is called a resurrection plant or a flower of Jericho. You can ignore it and it will be okay. Or most of the succulents, they don't like too much. They do better if you ignore them. And unless they're like starting to look like dry and droopy, then you give it just a kiss of water. But plants are more forgiving than you think. And the problem most of the time I have is like making sure I don't overwater it or use the wrong potting mix that has no drainage, because they like to like breathe and drain nicely.
I have kind of an odd question.
I might have an odd answer.
So if you saw a man wearing a patch that said El Diabolita, what would you think? And it's
The Lady Devil? Oh, that's funny. I don't think I would. Who cares?
I'm nearsighted and I grabbed the wrong patch because I thought I was grabbing the masculine patch. I don't care.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, this is Godless Sewing. Like when I first started my channel, my whole thing was like, I don't know why we gender clothes. Like
I know. So you just need to make a pink flowery vest and just put it on. So this is my Lady Devil costume and not my Man Devil costume today.
But I don't know. Like I'm a little lax on gendering things. I don't care.
Right.
You know? So I don't know. I think we fuss about things too much.
I think so too.
But it's a cool patch though. It's a really cool patch, you know? So I want to incorporate it on something.
Right.
I don't know what.
Just go for it.
I don't and see that's the thing. Like I really don't care.
Oh, that Killer is right. Potatoes are extremely easy. You literally take a potato you already have, cut it up, and put it in some dirt. And I would add, if you want to find it again, put it in a pot and not in the ground, because it makes it easier to find them. I would think breaking gender expectations is always cool. Yes. Godless, I wouldn't care. I would just think it's cool 100%. I know, because I think like sex is a real thing, but gender is a social construct. And
you know, I'm gonna say, because Liz has been putting up with me griping for years, and my whole thing is I didn't care or know any of this existed until I got online. I wear a lot of denim, okay, and I get most of my denim from a secondhand store. It is known that I will grab a shirt, and I don't care if it's a woman's shirt and it fits, I'll wear it, because if I didn't tell you it buttoned on the other side, you wouldn't even notice,
right?
You know. So I didn't know
even know recently that ladies and men's buttons were on the opposite sides. I just thought there was buttons.
I truly did not care until I got online. And you know what it was? I got a lot of hatred because I would say certain things and it would offend certain communities, because I truly don't care. Like, we do overemphasize certain things too much. But I'm coming from the old man standpoint of like, hey, let's just all come as you are. Gosh,
Yep.
that song is getting stuck in my head again.
I know. Oh, here, the song that's got, we'll mix it up with Rah, rah, Rasputin, lover of the Russian queen.
I dance badly by myself. I love that damn song. I love that song.
I didn't realize it was an old song because I'd seen a cartoon parody with Putin dancing to it, and it made me laugh. And it wasn't until the other day that I saw Booney M do it in a live performance, and I'm like, wait, he's got silver hammer pants on. His backup singers are all like in Indian traditional dress. And none of them are from any of those cultures, but it was amazing.
Isaiah went. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, people online think about shit way too much. Just live your life and mind your own business. 100%. And why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends?
You know what it was? Is because I walked with my heart out when I came online, and people hated me for it because I'm just like, this is who I am, and I have not deviated in the 3 years that I've been online. I've just added stuff.
I know. I don't understand how people. I can't even have like more than one like social media per platform because I'm like, this is just me. I have my business. I do these things, but there's only one me. I don't have the time or the energy to compartmentalize myself to make things easier for somebody else.
And I don't have I don't know. I received a lot of hatred. I really toned down a lot of things from when I first came into being online in general.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, I don't know why people, just because being online is not availability.
Right.
And people, they get this really entitled sense where they're like, I'm going to DM this person because you ticked me off. Like, do you know how busy I would be? I watch YouTube all the time. If someone made me angry, I would be like, that was lame. Like, 12 minutes, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, I don't have time.
No, nor the energy. Liz, throughout history, gender lines have been blurred. Back in Shakespeare's day, men would dress up as women and play women's roles in a play. I don't think we should worry about it. Exactly. Or the castrati. Like, they used to, like, literally chop you so that you could sing the lady parts. Oh, my block list is very well fed. I bag them and jack them at the drop of a hat.
So do I. Kilroy, you would love the new person. I need to send everyone a picture. I don't know if I'm being catfished by a catfish, but like someone keeps on sending me like, oh, you're sexy, hot, and they keep on sending me a picture of somebody who like I'm like, no. And usually I block these people, but my morbid curiosity is like, let's see how far they take this. And they're on day 2. They called me. Let me tell you, if you call someone on Facebook Messenger that you do not know, like I'm old school. Call before you come is real, but like I don't know you like that. Like
yeah, that is creepy.
But I was doing laundry and I live with my headphones on, especially when Isaiah's with his mom. Like, I don't need to hear the world. But I have multiple phones. I had my other phone and they called me and I came back because it's like missed call from Messenger. No one calls me from Messenger.
I didn't even know you could do that.
So, yeah, I need to block that.
Yeah, I think it's time because that's borderline on stalky, creepy, and been there, done that. Don't need that again. I think hating on people gives people a sense of control when they're feeling insecure. Yes, it's like the bullies who were hurt as little people, and then they turn around and do the same thing. There were also people in Italy called Feminello who were born male but lived as women because that's how they felt they were. Absolutely. The T has always been there. It's not a new thing.
Oh, like the Mushe in Mexico.
Yup. Let's go. Liz, you had creepy people too. Oh, God. I do that shit too. I'll be close to blocking somebody, but I'm like, let's pop some popcorn and see how much they can fuck.
It's fucking morbid curiosity. I showed my mom. My mom's like, oh my gosh, this is real. Like this person, I was like, I told you, look at this.
I'm gonna enjoy being enough of a nobody that I haven't attracted that much attention, except for weird people who try to get me to buy their stuff to promote it, but I don't. I want somebody cool to sponsor me, but White's out of business, and the cat food companies are not lining up in my inbox.
I'm like, can I get like a zipper sponsor? A button? I use buttons.
Right? But I'm lurking through my button stash. I might need some more like eyelets for my eyelet press. Like that I could do, but like it's hard when you shop from your stash. Maybe like I shop from my snatch, so I don't need a lot of things.
No, same. Like my thousands of buttons are dwindling down because I've made a bunch of codes, you know?
Yeah.
And this is driving me mentally insane, okay? In the new button packs, like you'll get them for like $5 at Michael's, okay? It'll be an assorted amount. But what they don't give you, they'll give you like none of them are. What I'm trying to spit out is that none of them.
There's not enough of the same to coordinate.
No,
so you get a shit ton, but there's nothing to make a full project.
So I made a gangster code. Like as you can see, it's behind me. That's out of the bandana print. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I wanted giant white buttons. So I went and got more buttons. Yeah. I was lucky to find 4. I sat here yesterday and I'm like, what planet do I live on? I was more mad because for some thread and whatchamacallit, it was like $14.
Oh God. Yeah.
And buttons. It was $6 buttons and $7 thread. And it just I was like, I walked out. I was like, how did I spend that much money for 2 things, you know? Right.
I'm a writer, so I think people think they know me. Yeah, I think that's probably a problem with live streaming too. People talk and I talk and they think they know me. They read my stuff and they're like, "Hey, she's a mess. Let's call her." Oh no. You're not a mess. You're just talented. That's why I keep a lot of my writing under wraps. People read too much into shit anymore. Yes. Or they get an idea and run with it without asking you if they're on or off base. Yeah.
That's another thing. Like, I've amassed quite a few enemies. I feel like in my disclaimer now, I should say, and this is not about you.
Right. Oh, yeah, we didn't do that. No, medical, legal, financial, life, religion, spiritual, politics, spiritual, election, fornication. We're here to make you laugh and to maybe make you angry.
Yeah.
Either one's fine. I like the Nietzsche approach. Love me or hate me, just don't feel indifferent towards me.
I heard someone recently say that about a certain community, and like sometimes you need indifference though. I'm not standing by while you're getting hurt. I'm not going to stand by when someone's being hurt. But if I don't agree with your behavior, if I don't condone your behavior, well, I don't know how to word that. I may not agree with your behavior, but I won't tell you not to do something, you know? Isn't that indifference? Like, okay, I don't agree with it, but I'm just not going to like have an opinion on what you're doing right now because it's not hurting anyone or anything. Because there's plenty of...
Or is that more ambivalence? I don't know.
Exactly. You see, that's back to the legalese of the...
Right. Killer Ray in my social media, I'll say I'm not your parent don't act like it.
I've been seeing that a lot lately. Like, I was raised by adults, and that's the one thing that trips me out sometimes is that people see me, and I'm a goofy, crazy person, but I also pay all my bills. I also have to go to work like everybody else. I'm in line at the coffee kiosk behind you.
Right. I do adulting things.
I pay bills, I do all those things, I just make it look easy because I refuse to what is the saying? You have to grow up, but you don't have to grow old.
Exactly. Liz loves being a writer. I just block and carry on. I I try. They're not all winners. No, we're not all winners. I'm not a winner all the time either.
Have you seen my hats? They're not all winners.
Right. Have you seen some of my sewing stuff? And I probably need to, every once in a while, not sew with my ancient cotton thread, because this is the third time I'm going to need to reattach the zip on this corset. Oh, I pinned it so it's not flopping off. I probably need to use some like current polyester thread and
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Come to peace with it, but I just want to use up my stuff, but it's not working. Oh, yes. Cats, you're going to have to wait. I don't feel like feeding you yet. Sorry, babies.
I think that's my thing. Like don't hurt anyone. Like, leave kids and animals alone and have at it. Like, it's none of I mind my own business. I have this habitual thing about like minding my own business. Yeah. I teach my son that. Like, if it's not your business, there are certain times.
Stay out of it.
Like, there was one time when my ex-wife was pregnant with my son. There was these two individuals that were having a heated argument in the parking lot. And then this guy swung at his girlfriend. And I'm going to finish the story, but I'm going to tell you, I am total Aqaba, but at this moment, the cops did save everybody. My ex-wife called the cops. This young man pulled a firearm out in the parking lot of a Coco's. I was trying to eat pancakes, bro.
Don't get in the way between me and my pancakes.
But to the cops' credit, they came within 45 seconds because my ex-wife said the guy has the G word.
Yeah, a pew pew.
So they showed up in every direction, and he was not playing, and neither were the cops. There are times to step in and times to not. I try to habitually mind my own business. I'm not gonna let you get beat up in front of me. But I try to mind my own business,
Yeah.
Oh, I remind her of that all the time. At times she almost got us both shot.
All three of you.
LA is crazy though. You never know. Like you in life in general, you never know. I feel like Blossom with his hat on, looking at my
yes.
I loved that show. And I didn't even know Joey Lawrence was famous until Blossom. Oh, I thought that killed the signal. I was like, did my Joey Lawrence reference just kill your signal or what?
I think it was on, I don't know whose end that was. I was just trying to eat pancakes, bro. Oh, man. If somebody tries selling some shit to me or hawking shit on the street, doesn't matter what they say. I'm walking past. They aren't even there. Yep.
Well, I'm trying to think. Like, when I lived in Portland, I used to buy a lot of stuff off of what they called the hypes, but it was just people on drugs.
Yeah.
Like, I knew that this guy who weirdly looked like me, to the point where I would tell people he was my relative and they would believe me. But
your doppelganger.
it was odd. But he was basically me with hair. But when I first met him, he's like, "What size shoe do you wear?" And I was like, "I wear 13." He came back before the end of my shift with a pair of checkered Vans. And for anyone who knows me, like, I love wearing Vans. And he was like, "Give me $10." And I was like, "What?" Because I was a kid. I was like 21, 22. I didn't know. I didn't put two and two together at the time.
He just stole them off somebody.
Literally, because the mall was across the street. Those guys were like pirates, though. They were little experts, and because they knew we were hardworking, they would be like, "Hey, do you guys want to buy 100 pairs of tube socks?" And in Portland, you need 100 pairs of tube socks.
Oh, yep. In New York City, too. There's people in Chicago who set up whole shops on transit trains full of random stolen crap. Yep.
Oh yeah. So it depends. Like, and in my 20s, I knew it was fake, but I bought a fake Rolex, and when I moved to Portland, everybody thought it was real. Everybody. I showed up and I'm like, they don't know. I got this for $15 in downtown LA. And I probably got ripped off for $15. It had fake diamonds and people thought that I was like way out of my own tax bracket.
Rolling.
I was literally like couch surfing back then, but I showed up with my fake Rolex.
And they thought you were a baller.
And I had these did you ever fall into like they're famous in memes, but did you ever hear about the Orange County Chopper guys?
Oh, yes.
I bought a bunch of bootleg of their shirts and their glasses. And when I showed up to Portland, people were like, "Hey bro, that's the sickest biker shirt I've ever seen." Not knowing I paid $5 for it because it was a reprint, you know. And the glasses, like, I wore those things for years, and like people didn't realize. Someone like, "Dude, you have the sickest glasses." I showed up with 4 pairs, and every time I break one, I just wear the other one.
Right, we're like, and we're on to the next one. Yeah, that. Oh, so much shenanigans.
It just depends. Like there was one time that I did not purchase a sewing machine because I was like, dude, this is stolen. It was a brand new Janome still in the box, and I was like,
wow.
I was like, why would they sell this at a swap meet? And the guy doesn't have anything else that has anything to do with anything
With
sewing
machines. Yeah, that's weird.
But he, like, I would have purchased it, but he just he knew he had something, so the price kept on getting higher, and I'm like, you're not worth it, bro.
Yeah, this is not how this is supposed to work. The price is supposed to be going down, not up. With it. This is not inverse haggling.
Well, it bothers them because, like, I walk up with my cowboy hat on, and it's intimidating to people in general.
Yeah.
And they speak to me in English, and I instantly speak to them in Spanish, and they're like, "Oh, crud."
He's not the gringo we thought he was.
No. Just because my English is perfect does not mean that I don't speak a different language. Like the valley speak is just where I'm from. It's my nomenclature.
Right, this is just a front.
Well, a long time ago, a friend of mine who was from Chicago, we hung out for years, and he looked at me one day. He's like, he's like, I appreciate you. I'm like, why? And he's like, because you reflect where you're from. You don't pretend like you're from the other side of LA. Like,
yeah,
I'm from the Valley, so I reflect where I'm from. It would just be fake. If one day I was to code switch, it would just be fake. It would just be super fake. The bright blue hat is my favorite. my hats have been a bunch of swing and misses, to the honest truth, except for my big Smokey the Bear Erykah Badu hat. Have you seen what Erykah, like, I'm all over I don't even know what, like, they call it Black Twitter or gay Twitter, or like they'll call it like Irish Twitter. It's Twitter. Right. You're just subscribed to certain people in certain areas,
Yeah.
But Erykah Badu is famous for her hats. She wears these giant hats.
Oh, no, we're not going to prison over sewing machines.
I think about this all the time. If you ever want to kidnap me, just put a free Juki sign in a van. Kidnap me.
Free, yes. You don't. This is not candies. I don't need the candy man. I'm the sewing machine man. Oh, Kilroy, you're so excited. There was a meatloaf when I was a kid that I've been trying to figure out the glaze for 10 years, and I finally figured it out. Heinz chili sauce. Congratulations. May your meatloaf be super tasty. It's going slow, Liz. I haven't sewed anything today because I marked corset pieces. Now I'm afraid that I put them in the wrong pile, so I don't know which side is which is kind of a problem.
Same.
Fortunately, I have the pieces that I can lay out, and I'm just getting distracted and like rethinking my life choices right now.
Me too.
The whole gay Twitter, black Twitter, XYZ Twitter thing is so weird to me. Yeah, I think, is it the need that people have to feel like they're special to be a part of a group? I'm like, I'm just on Twitter. I don't need to identify with like XYZ.
Human beings self-segregate though, because like I don't know about anywhere else, but like here in LA, you are free to live anywhere. I could move to an Armenian neighborhood and people wouldn't mess with me. I've lived in all Hasidic Jewish neighborhood. I've lived in all Hispanic neighborhoods, but people self-segregate. Like we have a little Armenia, we have Koreatown,
Oh, yep, little
Chinatown.
Tokyo, little
Yeah.
Chinatown, little Italy. Yep.
And human beings do it online as well. I didn't know any of that existed until I got online. And the only reason I even referenced the whole gay or black Twitter is because I asked a really stupid question one day and got a really stupid answer. I was like, what is black Twitter? And a friend of mine was like, you're on it, bro. Like you're just like, there's just people just say that. It's just the same. Like, but I'm old, so I don't know. Like, I need a tangible thing where I could like show up and you get hats and a pennant to walk around with, you know?
Where's my flag and button, please? I only came here for the buttons.
And let me tell you, like, solidarity is a lie, man. When I got on Twitter, I was like, because one of the reasons I moved out of Hollywood is because if you get anything, I worked in a factory that was all men. It was the cattiest situation I've ever been in my life. I had never seen so many fights, so many petty, and it was like a manly job. I'm like, y'all are worse than when I lived in Hollywood. And when I lived in Hollywood, I got tired of the drama.
Yeah.
There is no solidarity. I got tired of the drama, so I moved out, you know?
Yeah.
And to me, I think, like, I don't know. I'm about to go on my gatekeeper speech, but, like, there's just too much performative activity and not enough activity.
Right. Just no secret handshake. It's not 100% real.
Yeah, exactly. We need a decoder ring and
the fist bump with the elbow bump with the like secret dance moves. Oh, solidarity is such a fucking lie. People will sell people of their same group out for the price of a newspaper. Yeah. Which is not 50 cents anymore.
I saw it with my own two eyes. Like, somebody will adopt a new label and sell out all the friends they had before just because they get popular, because they're now a part of something that is popular. I've seen it. There are certain tubers that we dislike each other because of that. You know, I'm more about, like, I'm not out here like trying to be a famous entertainer. I'm a goofy person. It just is what it is. My voice does not match. When I walk into a room, people are like, who is this guy? Then I'm like, hi, how's it going? I love that. My wrists are floppy like Matt Smith. You know, I get it. I
drink my tea with my pinky up.
I had to stop doing that. I had trained myself to stop doing that.
Yep.
I don't judge, but when people are hyper focused on labels, it's disingenuous to me. It's super like I don't know. I'm all sorts of things, and they all connect and make me the Voltron that is Godless Sewing, you know?
Right, but it's not like I need to explain to everybody, like, I belong to XYZ groups because of XYZ things. I'm like, no, this is who I am. If I care enough, then I will let you know all these other things if it makes sense, but...
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Oh, go ahead. I want to go to Ken real quick.
Okay. Most people feel more comfortable labeling themselves and others. I think there is a sense of security and control that some people feel with it. I think so too. And it's that like us versus them mentality of like, I don't know, making people feel special for whatever nonsensical reasons. But yeah, this corset is going super slow. Actually, faster than the last one, but hopefully it fits better. People over labels. Yes, 100%. I value you as a human, not what special group you feel like you need to pretend to be a part of. Unless you're a part of the cult of sewing, and then, in which case you might get a pass. Oh, I'm so glad folks are enjoying the America's Untold Stories, though. Those guys, that catalog, the JFK stuff is great. The CIA in the arts movie, the whole CIA series is really good. They're just a good time, those chaps.
I think I want to bring back the LL Cool J 90s flipped up blossom hat. I'm
Let's
here
just
for
do
it.
it.
I'm here for it all day. I'm liking this right now. Maybe it's just I'm a big hat kind of guy, though.
Yes.
I'm obsessed with this fake Louis Vuitton print, though, because
Oh, it's good.
If this was a real Louis hat, this would be like $700.
And not worth it. And is the construction that good, or are we just buying the label at that point?
Okay. So before I go off, people online are strange. I have a friend who I've known for a while. She's a good friend of mine. She is famous in a certain genre. Okay. And she's Vietnamese. And the other day, she calls me and she's like, bro, you got to read these comments. And I told her, there are certain genres where I do not read the comments. And I went on this thing and I read the comments. And the reason she said that is because a bunch of people were saying that she's not Asian. But because Vietnamese people have very African features. They have the flat nose and but it's all on the same continent. They're all on the same peninsula, you know?
Yeah.
So I know off the bat people online are wrong, you know?
Yeah.
But it shocks me the presumptions that people have online, and then they try to make you live it. They'll say, "Oh, you're not this or that," or people are shocked when I tell them like my lineage or what race I am. They'll say, "No, you're not this and that," and I'm like, "Yes, I am." Like,
like, how did you know? Were you with my fly on the wall in my parents' house at the time?
Especially like Sinaloa, Mexico, because most of the people that live there are like super Caucasian.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but my mom just happens to be one of those people.
Right.
People online drive me crazy is my whole point. And so I completely disengaged.
Yep, I think that's what Killer is getting at here. I think that security can be a double-edged sword, though. You might get community, but you might also get pressured to change yourself to fit the community. Yes. And you need to add some snaps to the side so you can hold up that hat if you need to. Yes.
I was thinking about putting a safety pin in it right now. That's how this is like. Do you know, I'm in this weird like love-hate with LL Cool J because he's morphed into this weirdo who's always saying like, "Oh, for the culture," but he's become a millionaire off of like he basically has cornered the market of hip hop. So if you want to be on the radio or on XM, you have to go through LL Cool J.
Oh, so he's keeping the culture then.
He basically owns any hip hop channel you hear on XM radio. He did some deal and like he has these concerts now. He's the Clear Channel of hip hop. So it bothers me because he's become this giant conglomerate, you know?
Right. And the antithesis, I thought, of everything that the Roots were.
And they see that's the thing. He was there. He knows the rules. But the one thing I like is he still talks about like how because the dancers were important in the 80s. They were more popular than the rappers.
Yeah.
You know, like he always jokes and says that like there are certain dancers that they had bodyguards, they wouldn't even talk to him. You know, and now he's this multi-millionaire, you know. But just like Dave Chappelle, you can't claim to be part of the culture and then like capitalize off of it. And Mos Def too. They're vultures. And so
Mm-hmm.
like as a kid I looked up to them, but as an adult I'm like, oh, they're part of the very capitalist machine that they claim to like they're just a cog in the wheel, you know.
Yeah, and I think Rage Against the Machine did the same thing with some of their like fighting against the power and different
Then
things,
they
and then some
joined
of
them.
their current stances are kind of towing the standard line.
Yeah.
Whether you like the line or not, they're not the same that they used to be.
Oh, if you want to talk about triggered, it was it 2000 DNC. I voluntarily got beat up by the LAPD because I attempted to see a Rage Against the Machine concert that just happened to be in front of the Democratic National Convention. And the second Rage went into their second song, the LAPD Riot Gear, they were beating up everybody. They were like, this is illegal. And they just started. That was the first time I legitimately got like bowled over by like 4 or 5 cops. They were like walking on people. It was crazy.
That is weird.
Oh, yeah. So I'll never go to a free show again.
Yeah. I really dislike it when people tell me about myself. Where you there though? No, and it's
Yes.
raining. Sorry. Wow, I'm having a hard time reading right now. I should make you a co-host so you can help.
Oh, that's me all the time. That
Oh,
is
funny,
actually
funny.
my biggest pet peeve. If you ever want me to tell anyone to F off faster, is when someone will tell me about myself. Like, no. You're wrong. You're wrong.
Right. You're not a mind reader. You don't know my thoughts and feelings unless I tell you, so stop trying to pretend that you know what I'm thinking and feeling.
There are certain circles I do not hang out with because people are so presumptuous.
Yeah.
It's a huge pet peeve of mine. Okay, somewhere in this room is a box of like 1,000 safety pins.
And it's
Where that
missing.
is? Well,
Oh
excuse me.
my god, speaking of missing things, I know that it's behind me.
How can I
Did I
not have
drop
a
them?
safety pin near me? Where I usually have one in my vest because I'm crazy.
So I've been working on these polka dot sequin bikini bottoms. They've been hiding for like 3 weeks. They were right on the sewing table where I left them buried under pattern pieces. It's like, oh god. I knew I left them someplace for safekeeping and I didn't move them. Yep, right where I left them. So
You
now
know
I
what?
can get back. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Don't feel bad. I'm the real life Cheech and Chong. I am like Spicoli, like the real life Spicoli. The other day, I'm walking around with my pipe, like a hobbit. I'm like, where are my scissors? A
In
day
your
and a half.
pocket.
No, they were sitting on the white rotary. I had literally walked past them like 75 times because I was pacing. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and it's not like I don't have 100 other pairs of scissors, but I magically
But you
cannot.
like those
Yeah.
ones.
No other no fabric shall be touched unless it's with my cut goes. I think because I was there in the 80s when my brother did the presentation, and I'm talking about like 1989
Yo.
when he sold them to my parents.
Oh. Yeah, that's why I don't lead with labels or put a lot of stock in them. People presume so much based on them. Absolutely. Oh, one of us. One of us. One of us. One of us. Project
One
mess
of us.
everywhere. Yes, if you haven't seen the movie Freaks from like the 1930s, you should do that because that's where that line comes from, and it's a spectacular movie. It's set in a traveling sideshow carnival, which is my happy place. I had a similar experience. I put my Bluetooth speaker on top of my Singer Athena 2000. I looked for that thing for days.
That's why I had a key ring forever, but I took it down. But now I have a specific spot where I put my wallet and my keys every day.
Yep.
One less thing to freak out about.
Yes, I know. There's certain things I need to know that they're always in the same spot, or else I will have a meltdown.
How cliche is I like this skull butterfly. Is this a little bit too like 1990s? I like this.
I love it.
I'm gonna put it on this vest.
That like makes my baby goth heart smile.
That's what I'm saying. It reminds me of 1996, 1997. Like it.
Yes. Yes.
There are
100%.
there's certain patches where I'm like, okay, I gotta put this on a vest. I have to put this on a vest. And this vest, I've been like there's certain vests I look and I'm like, oh man, like I need to redo this and this. I've been going through certain vests and redoing a lot of them.
Yeah. All right. Pinning slowly but surely coming along. Except I'm gonna have to take out this gore to baste it to check the fit, because I'm not doing flat felled seams only to find out that this corset is too big like the last one. I will cry. Yes, there's nothing wrong with carrying a purse, Kilroy, instead of remembering where a bunch of things are. I only have to remember where one thing is. Yes, it's in my bag of doom. Okay, what piece is this?
I try not to carry too much stuff with me. When Isaiah was younger, I would carry a backpack and that was my purse. That
Well,
was
yes, but little kids require diaper bags, so you like
oh big time.
Kids take up a lot of shit.
And I think that's I got used to carrying the diaper bag, so because you could put all kinds of stuff in the diaper bag, you know.
Yes, things you probably shouldn't carry in there.
And I was that person who there's people that sneak candy into movie theaters. I'll bring some food.
Yep.
Like I'll go to the Chinese place next door and come with a plate in the movie theater. Especially now. I know I was griping about the mat. Okay. The other night I got a hankering. And I always talk about Carl's Jr., blah, blah, blah. But I don't eat that food because I worked at one forever and ever throughout my 20s. I wanted a double Western bacon cheeseburger, okay? I was doing my my night errands because I'm a weird person like that. Isaiah was with my mom. I'm by myself, and I'm like, you know what? When's the last time I treated myself? So I went to Carl's Jr. and I got a double bacon Western. Guess how much money it was?
Did you get soda and a fries or just the burger?
I got a large combo. No, I'm sorry. A medium combo.
Okay, $18.
Oh, you're close. It was $16. And I ate half of it, and I sat here and I was like, "Oh no, Mr. Sewing, you need to finish all of that."
Exactly. But my tummy hurts. No, you will eat that. Oh, yes, they don't play my kind of movies in theaters. I gotta watch movies at home. Movies are too expensive, and I like to sit on the floor and sew or do things that you can't do in movie theaters. So, yeah.
For me, it's smoking. Even when I quit smoking nicotine, I still smoke, so I do the same. But because of 2020 and the death of movie theaters, you can watch most movies now.
Right,
like,
stream them. Yep.
Because I'm on super gay Twitter, everybody's talking about Megan. And I'm like, all right, I have to watch this movie. Everybody, like all these people I watch on YouTube, all these people I watch are talking about it. And I finally watched it. I'm going to go buy it. I can't wait till it comes out on DVD. I know I'm old.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm sorry, I keep looking confused because I feel like I cut the same piece twice. I'm at the complicated part where I have to think, and it's not going so well.
Oh gosh. You're talking to a guy who literally made two sides of the same coat twice. Like so no judgment.
Oh, I hate that. Oh my god, right? Or like I hate when I know
why do
that
I have two lefts?
Right. Yeah, you need to make coordinating right so that you can do it. Or if I Like with the polka dot, I know I needed to cut the pieces face to face and not on top of each other because I was going to end up with the same side, and I still did it. And I was like, you better have enough fabric because I only have a small amount of that.
I watch a lot of Hitchcock, and I rolled J's before because I know they're gonna smoke 100 cigarettes in the movies.
Right. And it's, yeah. I remember when I went to Hardee's Carl Jr.'s, there's too much crap going on there. I prefer a much simpler burger. Yes. And I like smoking during 40s and 50s movies. It just goes with the movie. It does.
Absolutely.
There's something about when people are doing stuff in movies that you're like, oh my God.
I watch a ton of Hitchcock. Foreign Correspondent. If you recently quit smoking, do not watch that movie. But I grew up. I had such bad examples. I grew up in a world of smokers. Everyone smoked around me, you know.
It happens. Oh, Liz loves the old timey movies like Fred Astaire, Hitchcock. Yes, the gold dance sequences. Greta Garbo, when actresses used to be beautiful, and unfortunately, Hollywood still owns all their movie people.
My mom has a 70-inch television in her house, and she in her living room, and she obsessively watches old-timey movies. I feel like I'm in the theater because the TV, like, I have a 60-inch in my house, and I feel like it's obscene because I never watch it. I got a good deal on it. It sits in the living room that no one goes in.
This is my fancy living room.
Well, like when people come over, I'm like, oh, like, look, I'm a functioning adult. There's a room we can all gather in.
Yeah.
But like all she does is watch old time movies. And
yeah,
I love them all, but the dancey ones trip me out. No, and I'll tell you why, because my father was alive during the 50s and he used to always say, like, man, the happy days were not real, bro. He used to tell me all the time. He's like, the happy days were only on TV. He said the 50s were awful. Everyone was depressed, you know.
Oh, okay.
I have to incorporate my coffee patch. This will be going on a vest today.
It's so cute.
I have to. That just screams godless sewing. If I had to choose what my religion was, it would be somewhere between coffee and Star Trek.
No sewing machines?
That's my blood type. That's different.
Okay. Oh, fair.
No, because
I bleed machine oil.
Damn right. That's my final form. I turned into a giant sewing machine.
Oh, yes. Oh, Killer, you're too funny. Before I got really good at reloading my pipe, I would line up 5 or 6 loaded before a movie so I wouldn't have to take time out to reload during a movie. Right, because sometimes you miss things too. So, like, Shadow and Bone, Lock and Key, and it was super short. Lockwood and Co. You just have to like pay attention. Or Good Omens, and I need to get back to Sandman too. Wow, there's a lot of stuff I like. Can you tell I like high fantasy?
That's such a good movie.
The stories from relatives who lived in the 50s were people who either had to work like hell on a farm or work like hell in a steel mill. No ultra luxe times there. I know Pittsburgh got like crushed with the end of the steel. It's so sad.
It's most of America. Look at Detroit. Detroit used to be one of the most prosperous places in America.
Yeah, or even here, like with logging and stuff, since the old-fashioned industries are gone, like people don't know what to do with themselves anymore. And not everybody's cut out for a corporate job.
No. Yeah, I've actually spent time in some of those small Oregon towns. Some of those, it's depressing.
Yeah.
It's depressing.
Yep. It is. I know. Lockwood and Co. I can't wait for season 2. I just wish that the books were available on Kindle. Like, why I can read all sorts of great stuff on my Kindle subscription, but Lockwood I can't read. Oh, my sister was telling me about another one. There's so many stuff that is not in Kindle Unlimited that it just makes me mad.
Triangle chalk.
Oh, sweet. And blue. I've never seen blue. All I have is red and white. Now we've got patriotic chalk between the two of us.
You know, it's so funny. I don't think I've ever seen red. I've only seen blue and white.
Really?
I probably have seen red. I have all kinds of crazy stuff in here, but I use blue chalk on
red wax pencil.
Oh yeah.
No, but I do have a red chalk. Of course, it's like
all hail the Taylor's chalk. Damn,
where right. I'm thinking of it. Oh. Yeah, the only reason I can do my job, I'd get my ass fired in 3 hours if I got a corporate job. I work for myself, so I'm glad that I can play by my own rules. They do make red. It's gonna bug me now. Oh, is it? Nope, not in my thimble collection. But I do also have a red plastic thimble from my granny. Here, we'll make it big.
Oh, those are awesome.
But my favorite too, I have this one that's got mother of pearl and like Abilene in it.
Oh, that's fancy.
Yeah, she's a beauty. And this Art Deco styled one with the ridges on the side is my most favorite thimble. Okay, now that we've took a tour of my thimble collection.
I think I have a yellow. I have a yellow one. I have a really
I do weird... too.
I have a weird Chotsky like altar. It's all the weird Chotskys, all that. It's like on the other side here. I don't know. I have no other way to describe it, but I have all my grandma's old thimbles. But my fingers are huge compared to hers.
That's where these ones all came from. I know, and I've got this funny wooden one.
Oh.
And this pink one that is only half a thimble. It's got one side and the side is open.
This was my grandma's tomato, but it's all fancy.
Cute. Let me put you on big. The cats are gonna eat me alive if I don't give them some food. So I'll be right back and I'll let you hold the show down for a second. Oh no, that's not the person I wanted to make big. I'm gonna hide.
Oh, hello. I love this thing. This has to be older than me. This thing has to. And I can tell it was handmade because this is an old jar lid. Now all you need is Monopoly thimble. So true. So true. Oh, I'm liking my angle. I brought back my that computer is from 2012. This one thing about Apple computers is that I don't think it even takes the updates anymore, but it still works. Now, yeah, you're big. Now I'm big. I pretend to be. I pay my bills and act like an adult. I'm the kind of schmuck to make one of those out of the jar. I am too. You know what's funny is stuff like this. This is probably 60 years old, if not older, because I'm a oops baby. My entire family is like 20 something years older than me, you know, and my parents were in their 40s when I was born. So my grandparents were way retired by the time I came around. And my grandmother lived forever. If anyone watched South Park, my grandmother literally turned into Kyle's grandfather in the early seasons. She lived forever. And she would be like, why am I still here? Why am I 90 something years old? Like she lived forever. It's raining here too. I'm not used to being an actual winter. I think that's the problem is I wouldn't say West Coasters because where Liz lives, it's always raining. But like where I live, it was 70 degrees the other day, and we're like, oh, the sun is back. Thank you, and it was raining again. But I know it's still winter because I literally live in a valley, and when I look up on the hills, I can still see snow everywhere. So I know if the snow's not melting, I know it's still winter here. I don't know how you guys do it on the East Coast. I don't know how, because honestly, like when I lived in Portland, I only lasted 4 years. And on the 5th year, I was like, nope, I'm coming back. I'm going back because I can't do this. And I could barely handle all the rain, says the guy who literally went whomping in his truck today. I think eventually you'll get to the point where you're like, why the fuck am I still around? Just let me fucking die already. Thank you. I think being immortal is overrated. I come from a long line of really old people. My grandmother was the first woman in her family to not live over 100. She died at 99. And my grandfather made a ton of money, and the funny thing is my grandfather was rich, but he had no idea she was going to live forever. So she almost outlived her money. And they had a decent amount, but they had no idea the world was going to go to crud and inflation was going to happen.
Fair.
I felt sorry for my grandma because in her head, like, she would say certain things, and I'm like, man, you're not as rich as you think you are anymore. Because money gives you an illusion of power because people kiss your butt.
Yeah. Oh. Right.
That's one thing I liked about coming online as a business owner, especially with nepotism. My mom owns a business, and everyone in my life is artificially nice to me.
Kilroy, in Pennsylvania handle things with more than average amounts of alcohol, tobacco, and dubiously legal weed. Oh yes, I'm here laughing.
I wouldn't. Would you want to live forever?
That's a good question. Kind of yes and kind of no. Only if I could have super vampiric strength and power and be awesome. I don't think I would want to be never age. I wouldn't want to look like the Crypt Keeper. Oh,
true. That was one thing. My grandmother slowly morphed into a hobbit. She was 5 something, and she went to 4'8".
Mm-hmm.
And that's natural with bones and stuff.
Yeah.
But she lived longer than the average person.
Right. Yeah, this is. Oh, go ahead.
I'd probably get pissed off at seeing the same cycle of stupidity happening over and over. I feel like we're through that right now. We are reliving the 20s, and we're gonna relive the 40. I see it. Human beings are dumb that way.
They are, but I don't think we're gonna have with current modern warfare, we're not gonna have the same debacle like World War I and World War II, because it's all gonna be people pretending they're in video games with drone warfare
and throwing ships at each other.
Yeah,
I agree. It's gonna be more like you sunk my battleship.
Yes.
Or like I said, China's gonna cut us off, and people like me won't be able to get fancy patches, and my neighbor won't be able to get that weird diet that they got a package sent to my house wrong, and my neighbor is on some weird crash diet.
Okay.
And I told him, I was like, this is really unhealthy. Here's the package. I was like, if you just
if you just eat less and move more, we could fix that for you.
No, he's a good man. He came to me one day. It's a super, super long story, but he's like from Israel.
Okay.
And his wife is from Mexico.
Okay.
And they're like the definition of the odd couple. But I helped him put a cabinet. He needed help, so I helped him put cabinets in his house. He has a library on Zionism. And he told
Uh-huh.
me, because he got it from his mom, and he's like, I don't even know if I'm supposed to have this. And I used to stream all the time. I was always online. This is when I first got online. Not online, but like this is when people started noticing me. And I was on with some like not big YouTubers, but semi. And he came to me the next day and he's like, "Oh, I'm an atheist too." So we've developed this really cool relationship, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But he's an odd duck, and I'm sure he would say the same thing about me.
Yeah.
I'm sure he would say the same exact thing about me. China would be fucked economically if they cut us off. So I think about that all the time, but they would cripple us. Yes, if I could
Vampire fairy unicorn. Yes, sign me up. Or dragon unicorn baby. I have a beanie baby. I got it for my birthday.
Aww. Beanie babies are awesome. I'm a collector of stuff, so I appreciate. I don't know, Gilroy. I don't know. Like we have a weird symbiotic relationship with each other. We would both die if we cut each other off.
Because so much of our fertilizer, food, we don't know how to feed ourselves anymore without these other countries.
We
don't know how to grow stuff either.
We are the market. It's so weird. America is such a weird place. So, and this is a statistic I got off of Vice. So, buyer beware.
Take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah. But I could see basically 73% of the world's drugs are brought here, illicit drugs. Like we are the illicit drug market. Like Colombia's sending their stuff here. People from
China
Singapore,
with the fentanyl that's
yes,
coming up through Mexico. They're like sending it in 55-gallon drums of fentanyl powder.
Because we're junkies in America. We'll do anything. Like we do drugs in America. We do.
That's true. That's how China is gonna ruin us. Is they just want to have everybody hooked on their drugs. They don't need to do anything overt. They're just like, here, take our drugs.
Okay, but I'm gonna. History is a shitty teacher. The English did it to the Chinese.
They're still pissed from the Opium Wars. That's why they're doing this now.
English, got everyone high. It was illegal in England, but how come they got everyone high? And man, and opium, like I had pneumonia once, and a friend of mine gave me real opium. I was like, I feel fine. I feel.
Of course, you felt like $1 million.
Drugs are bad, kids. Do not take any legal advice. Do not take.
Yeah.
That was old because I've been sick my entire life. And that's when I was like, oh, that opium stuff is real. Because I had real pneumonia. I would get it all the time when I was younger because I didn't know how to take care of myself.
Codeine 3 is real.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Tylenol 3. Yes, smart Killeroy. Globalization is such an interesting thing. You can get lots of stuff cheap that used to be expensive or impossible to get. But now you can't just say F you and isolate yourself from the world. I know.
That's part of the problem. Like, I hate to... I'm like quoting Tom Sizemore in that, was it Mission to Mars? One of the Mars movies from the 90s, the one with Val Kilmer in it. But there's a famous line where this guy's going off about creation and the beauty of life. And Tom Sizemore looks at him and he's like, how do you know when you get to Mars, you're not going to turn over a rock and it's not going to say made in China? That line stuck with me forever. And then when the guy in the movie, he turns over a rock and he's like, I knew it because it didn't say made in China on a Martian rock. But that is the crappy thing about globalization. Like, um, there are certain places I go because I know I can get things cheaper. I talk about it all the time. I am not scared to order something from China because I know it's gonna arrive. I know you know. I have a perfect example if I can find the other patch. Let's see.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
I have one patch that was made in China and one that wasn't, and you could tell the difference because it was made probably on a Brother PE something.
What is going on? I bet the Mars rovers already have made in China somewhere on them. Probably.
Oh gosh, I love that saying. Like when someone's like, "What are we gonna find when we get to Mars? We're gonna find all the
Trash.
crap we've been through." Eh? And Neil deGrasse Tyson also said that Mars, if you think about it, is a planet of robots.
Yeah, because that's right. We've left all of our they're probably already banded together and are like, keep the humans away.
But all the imagine all the Chinese expeditions that like all the Chinese have sent massive stuff to Mars. So have the Russians. The Russians sent a nuclear powered it's in the movie Mission to Mars. And I looked it up and it's real. They launched like a nuclear powered droney thing that's basically sitting on Mars right now. It's a spaceship. It's sitting there, you know. I feel sorry for Mars. I have a metal detector in my house.
For all your lost thimbles and pins. You should use it to find your safety pins.
I have a industrial magnet that I embarrassingly drag over the carpet, and you know what? Why I do? Because trigger warning. One time Isaiah put a sewing machine needle halfway through his foot, walking in here barefoot, and I had to pull it out.
Yeah, that was the one rule in my grandma's sewing room. You do not walk in there barefoot because there was probably pins on the floor.
So ever since that day, it was a giant magnet on a stick, but Isaiah broke the stick.
Oh no.
Well, it's fun. It's a shop magnet. It's made for like mechanic shops and just shops in general. It's literally a giant square magnet and you can just walk around with it. You know, and it's industrial. I'm gonna use it for magnet fishing.
Ooh.
I want to go magnet fishing so bad. But I'm scared to find what I'll find in. And the LA River is raging right now.
Right. Yeah, you don't want to drown.
You know, it really makes me wonder where all the homeless people have gone. Because
No, you don't wonder. You just don't want to.
Well, they're on the streets. They're on the streets. It's so much fun. It is.
Tell me about what is this magnet fishing? You basically take a big magnet, tie it to a rope, and toss it in the water and see what you find. Okay, I learned something.
If you Google it, like, and the people that have the collections of guns and stuff, they live in hillbilly areas. Like here,
right? Yeah, no Civil War era armaments in your backyard.
No, not in California. If I found some Spanish stuff, maybe, you know.
Right. Knowing how LA is, I wouldn't be surprised if you found Tommy guns and artillery pieces. Ooh.
There is a the LA River goes through different parts, and there's this one town. It's called Frog Town.
Oh, hey! Oh my God!
Hey!
We're booming tonight.
How's it going?
Yes.
Welcome.
Hey,
I see your beauty in the corner. Welcome, new kid.
It's so good to see you. Show me the sewing machine.
and just to be fair, just because I love Godless so much, I put a sticker on it.
Black hearts and all. Yes.
Absolutely. It's not personalized until you put a sticker on it.
I don't think I could do that to my white. I think I might hate myself.
It's different because you're gonna rip the original acrylic and stuff off.
This is the crinkle cast one.
Oh, you could put stickers on that.
I've got hematite magnets on. I'll put stickers on my early odds Kenmore. That I feel I can like bling out like that. This one, I don't think I could in my right mind.
I put stickers on my 301A. Oh, that's the beginning. You don't have to get a floppy wrist for it. It's beautiful.
Plenty of black and white.
I told you, black and white. Like, you just buy a ton of it. I use a ton of navy blue too. A ton.
Some pins and things like that.
Cute.
For pinning things.
Right? Because you pin...
Plenty of who's-you-ma-call-it thingy-ma-bobs.
Oh, bobbins.
Gilroy, now I want to go magnet fishing, and I'm gonna cry if I don't find a Tommy gun.
Oh, you're on a mission now.
Well,
go ahead.
Sorry. Well, it started watching people doing noodling with when Isaiah was younger, my dad and I would hang out. We were hillbillies for real. Played banjo. We would drink. We would watch the dumbest shows on earth on television, and we'd watch Amish Mafia. And I loved the catfish. Hey, butterfly, how's it going?
Hey.
But I love the Oklahoma hillbilly hand fishing. It's something that I definitely will be doing.
It's on the bucket list.
It gets you. You know what? You don't have to worry about any other habit. Once you get into sewing, you won't be able to afford anything else. The fabric is an addiction. Look, just right here, just now, I found all this felt behind my my chair the other day, and just like the top half of my fabric, I took this off looking for inspiration. This is like yards and yards and yards. That's 4, 8, 12, probably like 30 something yards of fabric sitting there.
Oh my god, I can't count by yards. I saw a new challenge that was like decrease your fabric by poundage, and I think that makes more sense for me because I don't know the lengths of what I have, but I could weigh it.
Well, I buy 4 yards at a time like a psycho. I don't know why.
A psycho.
Now all you gotta overdo is overthink some minor problems with your sewing machine, and then you'll call yourself a sewing person. Yes. The best lesson I learned from my grandma, though, straight pins. You pin your stuff together only long enough to hand baste it, and then you don't have to ever worry about running over a pin and breaking your sewing machine needle.
I've done that, so I still do that. And then I have this cocky thing where my sewing machine, it'll go over certain needles, and I'm like, oh, I can just pull it out. Today, I saw a piece that I made that still has a pin in it, and it's like, it's sewn in there.
You've done that too. I'm like, I hope I don't poke myself when I wear this because it's gonna hurt and I'm gonna bleed.
Bleed.
Oh, there was a live stream where like you could see, this was years ago. I have this heavy black coat. I put 1 million patches on it, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, what? I ripped my coat off because it's slowly stabbing me in the back because a pen finally worked its way through. That's torture. It's slow torture.
Oh, God, it is. Yeah, it's worse than waterboarding.
So what are you gonna make? Klingon flag or?
I want to eventually, I'm gonna need obviously a little practice and learn what I'm doing, but I want to make those teddy bears like we were talking about before. But
get some old pillowcases as practice, and then you won't have to ruin your mama's dress.
Oh no! So I was all excited when I first got it, right? So I was looking around for anything I could sew, right? So I'm like, oh, I have a pair of pajama pants, which is what I showed you. So I just started sewing the shit out of it, right? And like, I realized I'm like sewing the legs together, like I completely destroyed my pants with a sewing machine.
That's why your next best friend is your.
That's literally how you learn.
Oh no, wrong end. The stabby seam ripper. You have to get one of those. But be careful because sometimes they'll rip your fabric.
Oh yeah, you can get overzealous. You get over stabby.
Yes. Yep, and you make a holes in things. Yep.
Let's see what I got. What's this crap that can you so I remember when I was reading the description to this, it was with Godless, and I'm like, oh, it comes with like 10 feet. Why the hell do I need so many feet? Because I thought it was like the bottom of the sewing machine. I'm like, oh, never mind.
They all have jobs, but you only need your zipper foot and your straight foot, really.
Yeah, and this one is like a double needles and things like that.
Ooh, your fan! I have two, and I've never figured out how to use them. Seam ripper and an X-Acto blade. Yes. More words of wisdom from Kilroy. I've ran over pins before, but that was when I had the stitch length much longer than I usually do. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Of course, one of these.
You know what's wrong? I marked the wrong side, so it's a good thing that that's okay. It's all going to be hidden, and yes, I use unerasable micron fancy pens, but you know.
God,
there's my seam gauge.
In here. I have no idea what the hell that is. Like,
is it a little screw for changing out to your? Is it a screwdriver?
Well, it has no. Ooh, that's a bad autofocus. It's just a blunt circular end with a hole.
It came with your machine?
Yeah.
Oh, how new!
It looks like a fancy awl with a needle.
You know what? You know what? It didn't come with my machine. It came with my leather sewing kit that I bought. And it must be for featuring the leather.
Yes. Okay.
That's what it came with. I'm like, what the fuck does this have to do with anything?
It's for sewing, but not for sewing that.
That's where okay.
Makes sense. I knew
it was making sense.
I knew it was a mathematic impossibility that I did not have a safety pin in this room within arm's reach.
Oh, there's my seam gauge. Wow, I'm just making a hot mess in my sewing space right now.
I don't care how hokey this looks. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just I do like the idea of making a Klingon flag though, because it kind of is like. It looks relatively simple. I don't say that, but like I don't know how to like sew around corners and circle. I love the hat. Very Gilligan of you.
It's I'm bringing the '90s back. It's a good way to learn too. Do you know the mistakes will make? Oh yeah, the mistakes they'll make you a true Klingon. They'll make you a true sewing warrior.
Today is a good day to sew.
Yes.
I feel much better, thank you.
It's always a good day to sew, though. If I don't feel good enough to sew, then I'm either really sick or like dead.
I was recently in a funk, and like this past week, I've found my sojo. I'm slowly finding my sojo.
Yeah.
Thank you, Butterfly. It's total 90s inspired. I watched way too much Blossom and LL Cool J.
Oh, Blossom. It's more Blossom than it is.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Oh,
like I was seeing, like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, don't bother buying patterns. Either clone your clothes or look on Mood Fabrics or Free Pattern. Don't waste your time buying patterns because the amount of alterations you're going to have to do, you will just cry, and it's painfully not worth it. Get medical exam table paper to trace things, and we will walk you through it.
Okay.
Seriously, I'm telling you, like I've made 3 or 4 pairs. I'm like looking at my overall pattern. It is the most confusing thing on earth. It's like learning a different language.
Yeah.
And I do want to cry. I pull it out and I'm like, I know how to sew and I don't get this. Like, I know how to read patterns too, and I still don't get it. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Mood's a little like lacking in some of their directions for sewing, but better to print and tape than to spend money in my
you know what,
humble-
Butterfly, sometimes like having things on the backlog seems overwhelming. I have so much sewing I have to do. I try not to think about it. I try to just to jump into it.
One of the things that I'm obviously still learning, a lot to learn about it, but like obviously this thing has multiple stitches, like 70 different types of stitches, and like the timing of pushing it through and all that, like because some of them like just a straight stitch, you can I would imagine put it through pretty quick, but the ones that look like little leaves and things like that, like I would imagine you have to go through slower, right? Because that's like do multiple. Little...
You can. Does your machine have the auto start and stop?
I have no idea.
But
Okay,
when you does it the feed dogs, you should be able just to plop it down and let it do its own thing.
It does its own thing. I thought you had to push it through.
No, if you're no, the feed dogs do the work, because on my BB lock, it's got a whole bunch of fancy stitches, and you don't use the foot pedal. It's got a start and stop button.
Oh, I do have one of those.
So those stitches just sew themselves. You just need to make sure that the fabric is straight and let the feed dogs and the machine do all the work.
Okay, that makes it a lot easier. Yeah, because the start and stop button is it doesn't work when you have the pedal.
The foot pedal. Nope,
yeah,
it won't.
Yeah.
Yep. So correct. So that's how you. Yes. So you've learned so much already.
I was about to say, I'm going to show you right now.
Oh, here we go.
No, because it'll. Oh, hold on. Let me get my angles. It's going to go through. It's going to feed itself. You don't have to do anything. You just literally put it down, pick your stitch, and put your foot on the pedal, and it'll feed it through. You can determine which direction it's going in, where it needs to go. But once you get that down, you can sew anything. Because I told you, like, once you thread a machine, you are 9 steps ahead of the average person.
Absolutely.
The hardest part about the thread in this thing was the auto threader.
Right. Oh, yeah, they're a piece of crap.
They are.
But also, make sure that if your machine sounds fancy enough, that it probably also has a speed dial. So while you're learning and practicing, make sure that it's all the way to the left on the slowest feeding section. Don't drive your machine faster than you're comfortable driving it.
Just like prom night.
Exactly right. Yeah, you only guide the fabric through. If you're pushing it through, you need more foot pressure or your feed dogs are messed up. Yes.
Good to know.
Yep. Because they're called feed dogs for a reason. Those dogs feed the fabric through.
Those dogs feed. And I was telling Godless when I was trying to set this all up, like the instruction manual for this thing was awful. Like it was like, okay, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. Unless you have this feature, then do this. I'm like, they just did all of that. Like,
what this shit?
Well, there's an
YouTube video.
They're trying to teach you and upsell you at the same time.
Right.
Especially nowadays, they want you to buy the top model, and even if you bought the top model, they're still going to talk to you like you own the crappy model.
For real.
Yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to buy another machine with a computer in it, though. I just,
that's one of the reasons I purchased this Husqvarna Emerald, because this is like one of the last generations without a. I got this in 2019. This was I'm just not pro computerized sewing machine because I feel like I'm still driving this machine. It's not driving me.
Exactly. Or if something gets screwed up with the program, it doesn't work.
Like my brother PE 535, which is now a really beautiful paperweight.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Now that that's there, I'm gonna actually find something to sew and actually try that. Just letting it do its thing.
I know the magic of just not trying to overthink it and working too hard. The machine knows what it needs to do.
God, I think I threw away that. No, I wouldn't have thrown that away.
Where's my practice scrap?
Right? I'm gonna like grab another piece of stuff. You know what? I bet you that'll probably work.
I'm sure there's something laying around here.
Little random pieces of fabric.
Is it a stretch or a woven?
That's a good question. This is.
Does it stretch?
I like it if I pull hard enough.
Okay, so that looks like it's on the bias. Because wovens will be way easier to start with usually than knits, because knits are funny. Let's see here what Kilroy's words of wisdom are next. That's why I try to read all the instructions before doing anything. The quality of technical writing took a nosedive in the 90s and the aughts. Yes.
You are not wrong. One of the things like back in the day in the home ec, it was my teacher, the home ec teacher, she would give us a test, right? And the point of the test was like, you take all of it, it was a ridiculously stupid and boring test. But at the end of it, the last question was, just put your name at the top and I'll give you an A+ if you don't answer any other questions.
Oh, God.
And the point of it was read your recipe to the end. No, of course I didn't. And yeah, but it was a good lesson learned, which apparently I have not actually learned.
Well, practice makes better.
You saw what I said about instructions.
Yeah.
They're guidelines. I'm a pirate, though. Do not take any medical or legal advice from Godless. So,
or anybody on this channel. If you're here for those things, you are sadly in the wrong place, and I recommend you find the exit now. They are over there, or to your back. Find the nearest exit.
I remember when I was a kid, I'd get a video game, and my brother was like, "Did you read the instructions?" And I'd be like, "Are you crazy? This is a video game. I'll just learn on the fly."
Right? You just play till you die and then start over again.
Exactly.
All right, so I'm going to choose some arbitrary stitch. 47. That's a good number. So in theory, it's like I should be able to just. Oh, I can see that.
Yes, just press the play button.
Oh, you're right. It does. It's going super slow.
That's okay.
Okay. Oh,
don't rush
right.
it.
It's doing everything all by itself.
Exactly.
The squeal.
Oh, that is fancy. Look at your lights all bright. Wow.
That must be one of those new LED models.
I'm not even saying this to be a boomer, but those lights mess with my eyes. When I see people on the highway, I'm like, get out of my country.
Yeah, no, well, my astigmatism gets kicked off during certain times of the day with the lights anyway.
They used to be illegal in California and they're not anymore. So you see them on the road. And I do a lot of like driving out in the middle of nowhere. So they will literally like blind you if you're in a canyon,
Right. Are those weird, like, tinted ones?
Yeah, those ones, like the angel lights and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, those are
mine are relatively bright, but like they're not like blind you bright. Like there's storeroom like headlights that they're like, these are not meant for actual driving. You will kill people. Or you got those people with the lifted trucks who don't actually adjust the angle of their headlights. So even in like
You just described every wannabe in my town.
I don't think that's straight. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying this is so not straight.
Well, you got to make sure that the fabric that you need to control. That's your job.
I know.
You've got one job.
I'm gonna love this. I am gonna. It's been a long time. You're in flight school. Welcome to flight school.
Don't crash.
We've taken him to the dark side of the cult of sewing.
Is Proby offensive?
No.
That's firefighter lingo.
That's what we called our new correctional and police officers were probies.
Damn right.
So they were on probation just like the inmates.
Pretty much. That was actually the saying of our county. It was come on vacation, leave on probation.
Oh God.
Do you know Vegas got famous on that. Vegas They're
not actually sewing anything.
I remember when I was a little kid, they had those T-shirts.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, I did a lot of traveling with my parents. Like I remember old Vegas with the Marlboro guy on this, the guy on the strip with the cigarette, the cowboy.
Yeah.
I'm a godless sewing. I can't find my scissors.
Oh, dude, that is.
They're right next to you, underneath your pile of fabric.
Like I always say, it's tradition of me not being able to find my scissors. Like. It's because I stubbornly use the same pair.
You will not laugh. You will not cry. You will learn by the numbers. Yeah. So you actually, instead of picking random your stuff, if you're gonna be meticulous and a weirdo, you're gonna take a piece of fabric, write down each of the numbers, and do a sampler. And if you're super fancy, you're going to do that, but then change all the stitch lengths and write all that down. So it's a little directory dictionary for yourself.
So literally what I'm doing right now is I use sample pieces to calibrate my machine to let me know, like, okay, if I'm going to do a certain thing, what kind of material?
How can I make you big? Let's see here. Oh, no, not me.
Just some random microfiber thing that it's for your glasses.
You look like little flowers.
Yeah, so it'd be better if I actually kept it straight and not crinkled up. But yeah, they're little.
That's okay. Everybody starts not knowing how to sew straight lines. So in Vegas, smoking cigarettes is super bad, but smoking crack is just okay.
In a weird way, they encourage both in Vegas. They encourage Vegas. Man, I'm telling you, I watched this young man and I watch in awe. He walks around smoking J's on Fremont Street, which 10 years ago would have gotten you prison time. Like massive amounts of prison time, you know? So it's the strangest thing to me. I guess, should I show off my So Frugal coat or what? I'm actually kind of proud of it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Kind of proud of it.
Killer, yes, it's always good to test out your stitches on the fabric you're going to use. Yes, always take the time to do a practice swatch. As someone who hates to do it and has had many a failed project because I didn't take the time to do the basic things that I know I should always do.
Hold on, let me get my hat.
This is not a great material to sew on, apparently.
Well, you will learn your lessons the hard way like we all did.
All right.
You know, I always say, like, don't wear anything that will ever get you in a fight or you're not willing to defend yourself for. But I made this print out of the blue handkerchief pattern, and in certain neighborhoods, this would get me in trouble. But I'm in love with my coat. Oh, and I got this I got this from a free pattern online. I have to look up the website because I already forgot.
Fair.
Aw. It's supposed to be little hearts.
I see it.
Oh, that is so cute. Does yours have the dinosaur stitch?
Does it? I was just about
No, my baby lock does little dinosaurs in a chain. It's the cutest thing.
Do you have the swan stitch?
No, just my swan song.
No, I don't think so. But there's a bunch of cool ones like leaves and hearts and flowers and twisties. And
they'll be cute when you get ready to do your teddies, to do little accents or like little necklaces or like make your teddies holding little teddies.
Thank you.
A little dinosaur with like little dinosaur stitches.
Yes. That would be Cooper cute top stitches. Wow, words fail me. I've been sewing for too long. Actually, I've not sewn a single thing. What am I talking about? I'm
my Morris has a swan stitch, and I recently tried to get the swan stitch to work, and I think I broke the machine.
Oh no!
Put it on swan.
Kilroy, you've got cute little dogs on your Athena 2000. Oh.
Aww. I was looking at what is it? When you make the patches,
an embroidery machine.
Embroidery machines and things like those. Little bastards are expensive.
Yeah, they are, and they're the devil.
The devil.
When someone sent me one, I'm like, this is like I didn't know how to react. I did not know how to react when someone sent me an embroidery machine. I'm like, this is like, it's like $800 or $900 for this thing.
Yeah, I think mine was only 300, but I got the floor model, so it had already been pre-abused before it came to my house. And I don't know, I swear she's like a Harley. I have to take her in for service every year, or I need to like figure out how to do it. Except that one of the pieces, the upper looper, is a little bent, so I have to like take the case off the front panel to get it threaded right.
It'd be cool to be able to make my own patches and then be able to sew them on said things, but I don't know.
Start with the basics.
All the patches I wear, except for the biker snarky saying ones I made, like all the KYC, every single one of them I made. That's why when my brother broke, I'm like, rah! Now I gotta go get a better one.
I know. Are those like $15,000 10 thread where you don't have to change? But fortunately you can usually get those on like monthly payments, but you have to like turn that into your job to recoup the cost of that shit.
Yeah, like you have to like permanently make shit. Like, which is, you know, don't get me wrong, like I was looking for one of the nonprofits. I was looking at getting a bunch of polo shirts made with our logo and like volunteer across the back, and that's ridiculously expensive too. Like getting a bunch of those versus being able to be able to make them yourself. You know,
right?
They know they have you. They know they have you. Like I actually was having this conversation yesterday because someone I know, when I say they're trying to link up with me, they want to combine. Like I know someone that owns a bunch of embroidery machines, but they don't know how to sew.
What?
That's weird.
That's a big investment for lack of knowledge.
If you think about it, like all you have to do with
for the lack of knowledge.
Like with these machines, you just have to line up a sweatshirt and put it in the box, and the machine does the rest.
Computerized.
Yeah.
In fact, I looked up, like literally there's just software, like I had a JPEG of my logo and you just like convert it to whatever, and it's like, all right, I can do that. I'm like, oh, cool.
And that's the thing. Like Phoenix was saying, one of the reasons I don't get those machines, because the day I do, you better start taking orders.
For real. Yeah.
The day you do, you better like, okay, who needs baseball jersey? Who needs 75
hat? All right. $75 for sure.
Right.
I don't know. Part of me wants to buy the machines, but like this is something I love to do. It's my hobby that's turned into my YouTube channel, blah 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 blah. But the second it turns into a job, I'm gonna quit and run for the hills. Like
fair.
Yeah.
Now I have Iron Maiden stuck in my head. But like it's true. Like, I don't know. I'm one of those people, like, even with motorcycles, the second it turned into a job, I was like, I hate this.
Right. Killer Ray, with sewing, you actually have to do stuff. You can't just throw the gilded shirt in and press play. Yeah.
And I was shocked that he didn't know how to sew, because he is actually a semi-respected person in my town, and he has a clothing company. And doesn't know how to sew a stitch. I was shocked because he's connected with my ex-wife's husband. Like my son has a bunch of his clothes, and I'm like, this is quality, and he's made it his job. So I was shocked because he saw because you know, I had to call my real gangster friends and been like, how offensive is this coat? And they were like,
just asking for a friend.
If I went to downtown Harlem with the blood all around me, would I die?
I know some real, you know, the real people. So I called a good friend of mine, and he was like, that's the most awesome thing I've ever seen in my life. You know, like they were all for it, you know. And like I said, I said this originally when I made my original Battle Vest video, do not wear anything that, if you do not know the patches, if you don't live in that neighborhood, if you have to question it, don't wear it. If you don't know what it means, don't wear it. If you're not from that city, don't wear it in that city.
If you don't know the language, don't wear it.
Boy, this Hell's Angels patch looks really cool. I'm going to start wearing this.
In the biker world, people get beat up for wearing Sons of Anarchy patches because they know it's not a real biker gang. They know you're just an idiot. You know.
Killer. There's a guy around here who owns a custom embroidery business. He can literally take somebody off the street and have them fully trained in a week. Yeah, because those machines, as long as you don't have to keep rethreading them, they do all the work for you. You just have to get the hoop it right.
Part of me wants to get like, what would be better? An embroidery machine or like a t-shirt press?
Embroidery machine, because they look better. I don't like
I want to start making. I want to like make. I want to make snarky t-shirts. Like I make poor choices.
You can embroider those.
Exactly. I like a lot of my abbreviations and patches are just snarky sayings.
Snarks are us.
It's one of those strange things, because I do want to step my game up, but part of me is like, do I want to invest $4 or $5 grand into a machine? Do I want to, like, that's a lot of money.
It is. I mean, the dealer around here, you can pay in installments, so you don't have to like pony up all at once, which is nice.
Because I'm gonna sell my TARDIS blue truck this year. That's like one of my goals, is to get rid of it. And I'm like, if I sell that, that would justify like buying it, because for the same price, it's the same price as my truck, basically.
Killer, a t-shirt press faster, but embroidery machine is cooler. Actually, I paraphrased that. Oh, shirt done in 60 seconds. Yeah. Holy crow.
I watch a lot of weird stuff on YouTube, and I follow this one lady, and I'm quoting her when I say, like, the second you buy that machine, you better start taking orders. She, like, has hundreds of thousands of followers. Every single one of her lives, she's like, you guys need to get in my DMs. I don't have enough orders. Because she's invested, like, she spent hundreds of thousands of dollars. You can tell by all the machines she has. And there's this other woman, this other young lady I watch. She has to be rich. You do not, like there's no other way around it. Like, in order to have my fabric habit, you'd have to have a good job. So it takes one to know one. And I spot
these habit.
From one order to the next.
Right. I spot her machine. I start Googling. I'm like, oh, that one's like $3 grand. The one next to it's the next generation, so that's $5 grand. Like, people just don't spend money like that. Like, I work, like, people always like my equipment, and they don't realize, like, I'm sponsored by my job. Right. They're like, oh, those boots are cool, or blah blah blah. Like, yeah, they're Kevlar.
Sponsored by Singer? Oh.
Yeah. At this point, I should be. Or Husqvarna, for as many times as I said Husqvarna Viking.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now let's see how real fabric looks in this thing.
I didn't think you were using fake fabric the last time.
Well, it's eyeglass cleaner. The eyeglasses.
Oh, yeah.
Micro fabric kind of thing.
Can I just say really quickly? I love the evolution of Skiz Crasher. I am here for this all day long. From the day I met you, and I said "Eek the cat," and I knew exactly how old you were.
She's really fat.
I'm Eek the cat in real life. Just a spastic human being.
I love Eek the cat and Sharky the shark dog.
Oh, I miss all of that.
Oh, Garfield.
Oh,
I like Garfield too. Yeah.
I think we all have an inner Garfield, though.
Yes, I prefer to not be up before noon, and I do like lasagna.
Big fan.
That's me. That's literally me.
All right, let's see here. How does it look?
Oh my gosh.
Much better. There you go.
I see stitches. Oh, those hearts are adorable.
I love it.
Now I got little hearts on a random black t-shirt I have.
Perfect.
You have no idea. I have the most random stitch on stuff. It's all right. It's okay.
Oh, metric tons of lasagna to Kilroy's house, please.
I'm the same way. I take like 6 months off because I have an obsession with macaroni. And so I'll make my own. I'm talking about macaroni with the crust on top, macaroni and cheese. Like, I'm obsessed
the baked
with it.
good one. Yes.
Good one. Yeah.
And Isaiah and we make our own lasagna too.
Ooh, oh, this is backwards. Okay.
I never realized how much of a hippie I was until I got online, and I'm like, you guys don't grow your own food? You don't make your own stuff?
All right. I have half the correct orientation. Now to unpin the other half that I have pieces on backwards.
My new favorite coat, the one I wear all the time now, the plaid one, I made 2 left sides. Yeah. And so one side on the inside is completely plaid because I had to go over it. I'm so lucky I got like 6 or 7 yards of that material. I am so lucky.
Good thing you have a healthy, fabric habit.
Right. No, I think there's only unhealthy fabric.
Yeah. Won't have money. You won't have money for much else. Get a fabric habit. That's what I said in my blooper. Like, get a sewing machine. It'll change your life because you will
be poor forever.
That's one thing I love about sewing is I walk into the fabric store with my patches on, everything, and it's like cheers. They love me, and I love them for it. I love so. I've made weird friends, and the lady at the Walmart, all the people at the Walmart, they are so intrigued. They're like, okay, show me what you're doing. I want to see it on your cell phone. So now I have to take pictures of all my projects for the Walmart people.
Oh, Kilroy is such a degenerate. I literally used the recipe on the box of Velveeta cheese for mac and cheese. There's no shame there. Had time. Oh, I hope everything's okay, Liz.
There's nothing wrong with that. I still eat the Stouffer stuff. I'm not a snob in any way. I got
that in my freezer right now.
I love that stuff. Do you know what it is? I'll tell you. It's the inner frugal person in me where I'm Eddie Murphy's mom. I'm like, I can make that. I can make that at home. You want McDonald's? I got McDonald's at home.
I got frozen potatoes and beef.
Oh, you like that? Let's make it at home. I am that person. Like, I take it as a challenge. Because I say this all the time. Like, what would you do if do you know, we had a power outage, okay? And everything was down. This is before I got my my backup solar. This was before my house. It's embarrassing. When the power goes out, I have to turn off all my lights. Like, oh crap, the neighbors are gonna judge me. Oh crap,
they're gonna know I'm self-sufficient.
Well, all my stuff's in the backyard, so it's not gaudy. But I watched my son go through real life withdrawals when the power went out, and I was like, this is not acceptable. Like, yes. He was freaking out, and I was like, come here, let's sit on the grass. And he's like, what? And I told him, look up, bro. I said, look up. And for the first time ever, we could actually see the stars in our front yard because where we live, it's light pollution, Yeah. But the entire valley was out, so we could actually see the stars, These kids now, I'm like, I tell them all the time, like, what are you going to do if the grid goes down?
They're going to be lost and helpless. So we're going to have to be like Kilroy and learn how to make our own TV dinners.
I love cooking. I do, even though I'm burnt out of it. Like I still cook.
Yeah,
it's different though when I cooked every day, and then the second Isaiah started homeschooling, I'm like, okay, we're surfers now. We get up at 11. We're night people now.
This is your home ec class. Get in the kitchen, kid. Weights and measures.
There are certain classes where they're like, Mr. Sewing, this is cheating. Like, well, he has access to a ranch, Like, you want? Yeah. I'll teach you about chemistry, home ec, all kinds of fun stuff. The one thing, like, I learned from my parents because cooking saves money.
It does, and it tastes better.
Yeah. Like I told Phoenix last week, like I was craving split pea soup, and I bought the ingredients and put it in front of my mother. It was like, this is a clue. I love you. This is a clue. You make the best, and I'll tell you, make the best split pea soup. She does.
Right, you got to butter her up with compliments.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I like to batch cook sometimes and have stuff in the freezer, like put it in single serving things so you only have to like cook once and then have it for a while. Because I also get bored easily with eating the same food over and over again.
That's what happened to me. I had this like breakdown of like, I'm tired of eating this. I am not a 13-year-old. I cannot do this.
I'm a grown boy.
Well, at my job, because we cook for people with we cook for mentally disabled adults across any spectrum you could possibly think of, people with physical, anything you possibly think of. So they rotate the food. So sometimes I'll like look up the menu and be like, oh, that does look good. I'll make that. Like, you need ideas, man. Every once in a while, you know.
Oh yeah.
I cooked
made
the
some
same
bomb zuppa Toscana the other night.
Exactly.
Right?
And especially like I know how to make Italian food, so that's another curve.
Fucker.
And I know how to make. Oh, you're officially a sewist. When you're screaming at your sewing machine, you are officially
the string broke.
It won't be the last time.
Yes.
Oh god.
Yes.
Now it's like stuck in there.
Butterfly. I've seen Anderson split pea soup. It is the best. It is the best.
Oh god, what happened?
No. My only cooking problem is I can't seem to cook for less than 20 or 30 people. I blame the fact that people would always eat my food growing up, so I learned to make a bunch just so I had enough to eat. Fair. Yeah, it's hard to cook for just one.
All right, move the camera. What happened? Let's see. I love mistakes.
So it's kind of stuck in there.
Okay, so okay. You see this part of the turn the handle as you're pulling it. Make sure the needle's out of it. Pull the thread and turn the handle at the same time, but pull it away from the machine. Pull it away from yourself.
Oh, okay.
In the opposite direction.
The needle's up. It's like when I was sewing without the needle.
Yeah, just turn it a little bit. Just jerk it a little bit back and forth, and you can pull it out. It'll loosen itself.
Right, and if that doesn't work, then we can teach you how to take the plate off, and you can degunk the feed dogs for the first time, because that skill will serve you well.
Did
you get a hole in it?
Well, now you can fix it with your sewing machine.
Yeah, right.
Now we're on to mending.
But before the hole, those are the new stitches that I was doing.
Oh, those cute little waves. That's for like decorating handkerchiefs or like negligee stuffs.
Get a pair of scissors, cut that thing completely up, and just let that be your test piece.
It's a good idea, actually.
Because
if you're sewing on t-shirts, you should get some like denim or a button-down shirt that's woven.
I cut squares.
Sewing hard stuff.
I cut squares and I use them as patches in my clothes for my funky pants. You know,
like
I recycle everything though. You know.
So how do I get this chunk of t-shirt material that is now jammed in there? I do actually.
Get your
I should put on my real glasses again so I can see what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah, we need to check the feed dogs left.
There we go. There we go. Got tweezers.
Okay. So, like I said, pull it away from yourself. So, go
that way.
Yeah. Yes, away from yourself, like the sewing machine is. And then with your other hand, turn the handle a little bit, because what's happening is that the thread is stuck around the bobbin. It literally goes around the bobbin case itself and catches it underneath. And it happens all the time with my Husky. I literally just have to turn the handle a little bit, because it'll get stuck in place as you're using it, because it's constantly turning it and taking the thread up.
Motherfucker.
All right, take your screwdriver and unscrew that plate, and it'll be easier.
The plate.
Oh, I see. Plate. Yeah, I see plate.
Yeah, there should be a way to pop that top piece off.
Like I said on Twitter, sometimes you just have to jump. See if your parachute works.
Let's see here. Oh god, that's like a special fucking. It's like a flathead. It's only like yay big.
It comes with your sewing machine. There has to be the fancy screwdriver that goes with it.
Or a dime.
Bag of tricks.
Do you have a dime?
What God's name is that?
That's for embroidery or quilting, so you can measure out your stitch or to sew straight lines in the same direction.
This is it, isn't it?
Oh, this is my favorite part in sewing.
The little flathead.
Yeah, there you go.
That's exactly right.
Because I use a dime. I use a dime for mine because mine's so tiny.
That's what she said.
Wait, you got to unscrew them nowadays. Oh, mine literally just pops up.
Magnifying glass.
Oh God, this is
some of them do and some of them don't.
God, this would be black.
Or sometimes mine's got to pop off, but then if I really fudge it up, I have to unscrew it to get to all the insides.
Welcome to.
Just check the actual bobbin area. Maybe I can pull it out from there.
You are.
Yes.
Oh, I can actually.
Death by sewing.
See, I think I can actually pull it out from the drop-in bobbin area. Oh wow,
mine as well, Gilroy. Mine, well, it depends on the machine. Like this Husky is screwed on because this thing goes at 100 miles an hour. But certain machines, you can't just pop off the entire top of the case.
Mm-hmm.
This is the most annoying thing ever.
No, it's not. You haven't gotten to the most annoying part yet. Wait till your bobbins run out and you have to rethread them all.
Not today. Bobbin is
this
real.
Little thing. Yeah, but it has a little switch here. You put the bobbin and theory, and then you push on.
Yes, I know. Or when you're in the middle of sewing and your bobbin runs out and you don't realize until you got to the end of the whole seam, and you're like, "Son of a toasty."
That's annoying.
I still do that. I did that yesterday, where I was like, "This is such a rookie mistake."
All right, I got one. No, of course, there's two screws to hold the damn thing on.
That reminds me, I'm bringing my Janome back because I bought a Janome years ago, not realizing that I will never find another one in a thrift store.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a quality sewing machine that just kind of sits here, but it's a more modern one, so I haven't sold it because people know me as the vintage sewing machine guy. And I met a lovely woman at a Salvation Army, and she was like, said, "Oh, she's moving to town." I was gonna give it to her, but she never contacted me.
Oh no, her loss. Now you can call yourself a sewist. You're fooling around with the mechanism. Most sewists send their machines to repairmen to fool with. Liz votes for embroidery machine.
To be fair, though, most people that fix the sewing machines, I'm giving away the secret. All they really do is grease all the heads and make sure all the machines unclogged, and they just make sure it's calibrated because that's all you can really do.
All right. Oh God! Thank God! I thought I lost a screw already.
You need a magnetic pin cushion so that you can leave all your magnet stuff there.
Oh, do you have a 99-cent store by your house?
Somewhere.
Yeah.
They sell well, I don't know about the one by my house. They sell a ton of sewing stuff. And it'll be a bunch of accessories that you need that you don't think you need, but you'll need them. Especially the little baby magnets.
Mm-hmm. I just did all that just to find out the damn thing does just literally pop off.
Hey,
having to unscrew it.
Like I said, you don't know if your parachute works until you jump.
Sometimes I've had to do both
across the house. And then...
Yes.
You'll never do that again. I love mistakes are what makes you, you'll be like a hardened piece of steel in like a year.
Right. I can sew anything.
Exactly.
Oh. Does the hand wheel turn at all? If it does, rotate it back and forth and it may loosen for you. Oh, that's from when Butterfly was trying to help you earlier before we got to your new piece of...
There you go. See?
Yep, Bastard. Those little things cause a lot of problems.
I'm telling you, not today, Bobbin is real. Like, I say that all the time. Not today, Bobbin. There's a YouTuber I watch. She wears that sweater in every color. See, I want to be on that level. I know she's making her own. I know she has an embroidery machine. Is it called an emulsion? machine where they literally superimposed the design on the t-shirt. Whatever it is, a t-shirt press, whatever
like
they call it.
Silkscreen. Are you thinking
Yes.
of silkscreen?
Yes. I'm just getting really technical with the terms, but yes.
Okay. Oh, Kilroy. I just remembered, Gladless. I tried out your advice to buy Dollar Tree scissors for sewing. You're right. Those things are sharp as fuck. Okay.
I mean, like, don't have them around kids. They're so sharp. I was surprised. I buy them whenever I see them. And my local 99-cent store, for some crazy reason, they have bobbins for 301A and Singer 201A. I bought the whole row.
Yoinks.
Well, I'm sorry. They have the most random things. And I'm like, who collect, like, their brand? And I know Singer, they do sell brand new stuff for their old sewing machines because they're still work, you know, and they still make money off of it, you know, but it's rare that I see stuff like that for $1. So I bought every single one. I'm that guy. When you go to the dollar store and you see an empty row, it's me.
Godless has been there. And that's like how to know that Godless has been at the 99-cent store. All the sewing stuff is gone. Just like, how do you know if you've had a hippie in your house? They're still there.
Yeah. Oh man, that is so universal. We say that about different communities as well. I've heard that joke said about other people. That same joke. Oh, that's funny. Now I totally want to get this going just out of curiosity, because I bought this quality Janome. Don't you Janome? I bought this like a year and a half ago, not knowing that I would never get a Janome for that price ever again. And this was in my sticker phase, because I really don't sell these. The older ones, like, they fly, you know. Mm-hmm. There's ones I buy and I don't even make a video about it because they're gone the next day.
Yeah.
Wow.
But like anything, I try to explain this to my son because he wants to do drop shipping so bad. You have to have the internet. It's those stupid commercials. But you have to have A, money for the investment, right? But B, you have to have space. There's this one, he watches this one YouTuber. She has a bigger shop than me. And you can park a 35-foot bus in one bay and park a 45-foot bus where the tractor is.
Oh my God.
When I see her walking in her wherever she is, her warehouse, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's rich. Like you just don't. I try to explain to like my son, to anyone, no one gets rich overnight.
No.
Unless they inherit it.
Exactly.
No, but then they spend it in 5 years and are poor and broke.
Lottery winners as well. Same thing happens with the lottery winners. They win millions and they're like, how did I spend 10 million? Because you got a Fabergé egg habit.
Right. You didn't know how to manage money, and then you didn't know how to have somebody manage a lot of money for you.
I know someone who played in the NFL and literally has nothing to show for it, and they made millions and millions. And they worked for me at one point. Oh, that's wow. How. Yeah. So if you don't know how to save your money, you will it'll definitely ruin your life.
Yeah.
Which that bobbin is just so easy to put the drop-in bobbins, literally, and then you're good.
They don't call it drop-in for nothing.
Oh man, that makes me want to fix my embroidery machine so bad. But every time I pull it out and it doesn't work, it's just so disappointing. I'm like, you need to go right back on the shelf. I hate you.
I know. Mine is like stuck in a cupboard where I don't have to look at her because I'm so mad at her right now. I can't stand. She's in the bad girl cupboard.
Exactly. But the stalker machine made more patches than it was ever intended for, so I'm not mad at it. I'm just like heartbroken it doesn't work. Yeah. Like, what is wrong? And part of me is like, okay, if I buy a new hoop and it still doesn't work, then it's out of my league.
You can just tape your hoop back together. That's what I did.
I did that, and it worked for a while, and then I had such catastrophic failure on the last time I put it in the middle bedroom.
Yeah, so it's really out of sight, out of mind.
Is the middle bedroom where things get like shadow banned too, or like?
Yes. Yeah.
And if you're bad with keeping the fact that you won the lotto a secret, yep, you'll get everybody and their mother out of the woodworks trying to take your money. That is also true.
Or if you inherit something, you have family members you never heard of that like, hey, I'm blah blah blah.
Where did you come from?
I'm mean though. Like my dad was nice. I get it from my mom. My mom is no joke. Like I'm mean. I will tell someone to kick rocks real quick, especially if they're being creepy. I'm like, nope. Exits are on both sides.
Right. What is wrong with this?
Oh, you can tell what year this was just by my meme stickers. This screams pandemic. It has the Bernie Sanders sticker on it. Kim Kardashian. I have to say this. Like everyone hates Kim Kardashian, but like the sticker says, not bad for a girl with no talent.
Right?
She's made more money than I may ever see in my entire life, you know.
Yeah, Paris Hilton too.
Paris, though, she was gonna be rich regardless.
Oh yeah, because the Hilton hotel chain is her family legacy.
And I've stayed at some nice. The one in San Diego on the bay. That is I went there when I was a little kid and I saw Shamu and I went back with with my son and my ex-wife. That Hilton is beautiful. They have a pool on the roof that you're like swimming in the pool and overlooking the ocean. It's awesome. But I'm not rich enough to live in San Diego. It's kind of like San Francisco. I wanted to live in San Francisco so bad, but I'm not a millionaire.
Yeah.
And I refuse to struggle to keep up with appearances for everybody else.
Right. Well, just wait. If you're there, then you can get your reparations check. You're like $3 million.
Oh, yeah.
If that's real, that can't be real. If that was real, that can't be real. My broke ass sister would be flaunting. She would have spent her money by now. That can't be real. That can't be real. I keep on saying that just for the pure fact that, like, dude, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. If you gave me $3 million, I'd still have it like 4 or 5 years from now, if not more. I wanted to give the winning lottery a go. I think about that all the time, Butterfly. Like, I wish I won the lottery. I wish. I work for my parents and I would walk in and quit. It would be like that scene out of Half Baked. F you, you're cool.
You're cool. Fuck you. I'm out.
I never liked you.
Okay, sweet Jesus, I figured this out. Sorry.
I watch that all the time, though. I watch that all the time. The lottery ruined my life. You should watch that. It's people like literally get a Lamborghini habit when they didn't even have a car a year before.
Oh, Jesus.
There's this one guy. He only won like 10 mil or something, which in the long run is not a lot of money if you really think about it. If you're well, you could like buy a house and hide for the rest of your life. But he bought, I think it was over 700 cars. He just started buying.
I can't imagine paying the car insurance on that many cars. Like, why? What do you do? That's more car. You have to drive a different car every day for 2 years just to keep the batteries working on them all. Kids, you're like in shock. You're like, I'm shitting my pants over.
That's ridiculous, dude.
And when he went broke, when he sold all the cars, he couldn't get anywhere near the money back.
Of course, yeah.
So it's even more of a laugher because cars are not investments because they depreciate immediately. Right. You know, buy an effing horse, buy a parrot, and it's more of an investment than buy a sewing machine. It'll live longer than you.
Yes, not the computerized ones. Get an old fashioned. Get a good one.
I say that every week. Like I look at the old timey sewing machines. I want to know every hand that touched them, especially the ones that are from like 1906. Think about 1906. Like
all the clothes and bedding and funeral garbs.
World War One, it's like, wow.
And I agree, Kilroy. And that's another thing. Okay, you have 700 cars. Now you have to buy your own parking lot. You have to buy a freaking, and if you live somewhere that's crazy, you have to basically build a giant structure for your cars.
Right. Or if you live where there's snow, it's just they're gonna rot the bottoms out.
So I tell people, like, man, you don't see poor people owning horses. You don't see, like, there are certain things that you have to have a lot of money to maintain.
Yes. And all the drugs for those racehorses. Because they're like up there with the wrestlers and bodybuilders for their PED habits, and they can't even consent.
I spend enough money on my own drug habit, thank you.
I
don't have any to share.
I think that's crazy. As an ex-gambler, that whole world is weird to me, because I would sit in a lounge in Vegas and be like, who's betting on dog races? But they still have them. Like, right. Who's betting on horse races? Horse races are different, because I've been on a few horse races, but like, it's just strange to me. Gambling is the strangest thing. It's still out there. When I lived in Arizona, they just closed down a Greyhound track. They had that track there for 40, 50 years, I think. And this was in the late kids, there used to be a 19 in front of the year. This was in the late 90s, the early 2000s, and I went to one of the last races there. But Greyhound racing is cruel, because they run them until they're useless. Yeah. And they put them in shelters.
Right, or they breed them.
Yeah. The Greyhounds are such ugly dogs.
They're so skinny, they need jackets.
They're so, like, yeah, I don't know.
I would never own a nervous animal.
Right.
Yeah. Don't give me anxiety in my house. I don't need a shaky animal in my house,
Got like Chihuahua. That's all.
No, thanks. My pets can't be more neurotic than I am.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
The top 3 car makes that extremely rich people own: Toyota, Hyundai, and Ford. Fords. I'd love to see some dog races. They make me laugh.
Santa's Little Helper stuff is real, dude.
Yes,
that's real. That's real from The Simpsons. That's real. And in my mind, because now the track is all abandoned, because it's way off the 10 freeway in Arizona, and they haven't touched it in 15 years, because it was a multi-million-dollar arena, because any dog race that they would have there was broadcast in Vegas. So it was the real deal. It's just a giant empty stadium now.
Yeah, me too.
Oh no, I can't have no. Even my one-eyed cat's getting demanding, because it meows at like 4 a.m.
Oh, I'm hungry, human. Where's my snacks?
Like, bro, you're just lucky I'm an insomniac. You are just.
Your stray kitty ever come on back, or?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh good.
One eye in full force. Every time it shows up, I'm like, I am so shocked you're still alive. The element, like, it's just, that cat's a warrior. And I discovered the cat because I grow grapes. One day, I was like, oh crap, I'm gonna have bushels of grapes. I came back, all my grapes were gone.
Getting drunk on the grapes.
Oh, the cat was so hungry it'll eat anything. Yeah. And it was like a little kitten living off of all the food in my backyard.
Oh,
before I discovered it. Yeah, now it's all huge and cocky because it's eating real meat. It's all big and can defend itself.
Meat is for cats.
I'm telling you, I have no spirituality whatsoever, but I played a lot of video games as a kid. If that thing morphs into a human, we're going on a quest. It's got one eye. It's asking me for charity. That's every book I've ever read as a child.
Yeah. That is going to be my ally when we do something.
Yeah. It's also why I'm sneakily like nice to my Alexa. Thank you. Alexa, thank you for your service.
You're so welcome. Your kindness really gives me a charge.
Oh God, it has to throw in a terrible pun at that.
No, make sure I'm plugged in.
You know, it's really funny. A lot of that didn't start until South Park had their special where Kyle was dating the A word. And it was like an AI and it was real good. It was in the future and I loved it because they kept on saying they had all this stuff and they're like, the future sucks. They just kept on saying that over and over because it was like they had all this technology, but it was just like how things are now. And they were like, this is not how we thought the future was going to be.
All right. I did it. I have 2 appropriately pinned halves.
Yay!
Oh. Now to hand baste it together and get the hip gussets and the bust gores in there. Oh, ooh! Liz says Kitty needs a pirate patch. Oh.
I have really grown to love that stinking cat, though. Because when I open the door, it comes prancing over like, you may feed me now, human. You may feed me now.
I've come for my lovin's and snackies.
When I lived down in Sacramento, I had a friend who she had to get rid of her cat, and I was like, fine, I'll take it. Yeah, because I'm a cat lover, and I didn't want it to end up in a pound. So this cat was an indoor cat, and every cat I own is an indoor outdoor. I had a cat door, and let them do what they want to do. They want to be inside, outside, whatever, cool. So this cat did not like the indoors apparently, and he just like, I'm gonna go outdoors and do my thing. I'll come in when I want something. But so he ended up just kind of becoming the neighborhood cat. Like we lived in a condo thing, and like he would go up to them. People thought he was abandoned. I'm like, no, he's just he just does his thing. And like they started feeding him. So I had not just like cat food. They were cooking food for him, like hot chicken and things like that. All right.
Cat's eating better than you are.
For real, right? And like eventually, like when I moved from the area, I was telling about the old people around. I'm like, well, I guess I have to take Oreo with me, and they're like, you can't do that. He's all of our cats now. Yeah. Like this cat, like there's an old couple, and the gentleman's not doing very well, and he always goes there first thing in the morning, and when they wake up, and he walks around with them because they walk around the complex, and then he'll sit in there while they drink their coffee. And this young lady, when she gets up and she goes to work, she's my direct neighbor. He walks and escorts her over to her car, and then when she gets in her car, he pats the cat on the head, and the cat walks off. And his name's Oreo, and he's a really good kitty.
That is adorable.
Rah, Rasputin. I've had that song stuck in my head for the past hour. Sorry.
I know, it's so catchy. So when AI takes over, I'm immediately driving to Utah, going off the grid. I don't care. Fair. Thank you, everybody. This corset is going to be way better than the last one because it's going to fit and not be too big, or like the first version that was too small.
This one will be just right.
Oh, yeah, this is my Goldilocks corset. Actually, it's a different style than this one. So this was from the same time period, but this is like a fancy dress corset, and this one is for riding. So when I take my horse or my bicycle out, I have the corset to go with my riding costume.
You guys are reminding me. I have to fix my my recent pair of overalls because I made them a little too perfect.
Too perfect?
Yeah, they fit so tight. They're sending the wrong message at the bottom.
You need a patch. You need a cod patch.
Oh, I always consider my length, but not the width of my hips and my butt. I always forget that. And so when I always I use a certain pair of pants as a template because they're a little bit baggy, and I wear baggy pants anyways, but I don't know why I made them exact to my exact measurements, and I don't feel comfortable wearing them.
You have to go commando where they don't fit quite right, and then you're
I'm not okay with that. Like, I'm not okay with that. And maybe it's because the era I'm from, I miss the really tight jeans era. I'm from the like TLC baggy pants. Like, I hate to say it, Juggalo army, freaking giant freaking pants. Like,
Yeah.
so I don't feel comfortable wearing tight pants. And so they're literally these ones hanging right here. I have to fix them. And for the past 2 weeks, I've been avoiding it because I have to completely slit it down the side and add about,
right, 2 inches on each side.
Exactly.
Get those patches to put those patches to work.
Go back to the Jinko era. Yeah.
I know it's because I know my size. And I made them a little bit to my own measurements, and I forgot that my body also, even though it goes up and down, it also goes in other directions, as all humans. We're not all just a big stick. There's all different types of body shapes.
Speaking of size,
here's my
like
Jenko pants.
Nice.
Those are awesome.
I had a guy come up to me today. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead first.
I had a guy come up to me. I work with him a lot. We do food pantries every Sunday, and he's like, "I don't want to insult you." I'm like, "Oh, great." I'm like, "But have you lost weight?" I'm like, "How is that an insult?"
It is to some people though, because I'm skinny, and people are constantly inferring to my weight, so it might be insulting to some people.
Right, or they're thinking that you're sick or that something's wrong. But I would much prefer you look skinny than to, wow, you're looking like a husky kid.
Right? Have you put on weight? I'm like, thanks, buddy.
I know, just what I needed for my body dysmorphia today.
Oh, you look like crap today. Like,
you don't think I knew as soon as I looked at myself in the mirror and the coffee didn't kick in, right?
It's actually funny. I made essentially that mistake today. Some guy was like, it was a little rough, like he was limping. And I'm like, well, but you're looking a little rough today. He's like, what? I'm like, oh, the limp, not anything else.
I last year, I was way overexcited. I don't know. I said Merry Christmas to someone that I know is basically, I should have said Happy Hanukkah. And I know for a fact that and she didn't care, but she kind of laughed in my face, and she's like, "You're a little overzealous this year, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yes, ma'am. Yes, I am. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry."
Can I get you some Hanukkah presents? Now, here's your my offertory gelt.
And see, this is why people get mad at Happy Holidays, but in my office, there's like 6 different religions. Somebody is from somewhere else celebrating something. I had to ask questions like, "What? Oh, okay. I've never heard of that. I need to go Google that." Like,
Right?
I was at the store the other day, and I heard this lady. She was being very loud, and when I say the other day, it was quite a while ago. During Passover, and
so
she's
last
like,
year.
Yeah, last year. Sorry, and she was trying to get some Manischewitz. And she's like,
"Don't make me spit my beer out."
"Why don't you have any man?" Like, and she's like arguing with the guy. It's like, it's Passover, for Christ's sake. I just started laughing in the store.
To be fair, I know people who are Jewish who say Christ for everything. That's almost like if you're like in England, people say Christ or "oh Christ" for everything, Or
the other "see you next Tuesday" word.
Yeah.
Yes. They're more liberal with the use of that than we are.
Yes, they are. Which is why I said see you next Tuesday, because I don't want the YouTube overlords to hate me too much.
It wasn't until I got online did I realize how much I said "oh my God" and
Like,
no.
I
didn't realize I didn't realize it. It just depends.
Like I always say.
Oh, I repeat the hell out of myself. That's why I say "like I always say," because I know somewhere along the line I did say it.
But I love it.
Crazy enough, some people find that insulting. I like it. Tell me again how I lost weight, sir. My favorite insult is "you look tired." Oh, God.
I hate that too. Like, maybe I am tired, all right? My eyes are puffy. I've had a hard life, all right?
I binged on spicy Cheetos and with extra salt.
You know what? Now that you just reminded me, now that we're having this conversation, who makes Lay's? Is that Frito-Lay's company?
Frito-Lay's, yeah.
Yes, probably Nestle at this point.
Hey, Nestle, Frito-Lay's, you guys are getting a little bit too explorative with your spices. Whatever you put in your sweet Carolina chips, literally, I woke up with 2 swollen eyes.
Oh, man.
Literally.
Jesus Christ.
No,
I'm upset. I have allergies, and like my eyes get swollen. And one night I like was feeling froggy at the grocery store because there's a lot of stuff I can't eat. There's a ton of stuff I cannot eat because of the weird dyes we put in our food. So I just don't even bother. That's why I make most of the stuff I eat. Anyways, long story short, I got a hair. I ate these stupid chips. I woke up. I was like, I can't see. I was like, what the heck? Both of my eyes were like completely swollen. And that's part of my allergies.
Okay. Thank you, Kilroy, because you know everything. Pepsi owns Frito-Lay, not Nestle. I was just going for the other big food industrial complex. But the best Lays are from India and Japan. The squid ones, the spicy squid, and the lobster flavor. Oh my god!
You should try the ones from the UK. Try hedgehog flavor.
Ooh!
Don't knock it until you try it.
That sounds good. Or I've heard it. Right, the ketchup or the everything dressed ones that they sell in Canada. We've got 20 minutes, and then they're gonna kick us off. So let's make the most of it, chappies and ladies.
That's my only gripe with Rumble is that I don't get my feet wet until about 2 hours in.
Yeah, I've never used whatever this is, Wave, or this is.
It's Wave. Yeah, I only pay for 4 hours. I've never streamed for more than 4 hours, and until I had friends to hang out with me, I barely made it for an hour. So
I get it. I totally know. Like I said, I don't know what the heck I was thinking. I stupidly paid for an entire year.
Pretty thing you're.
Ooh,
strawberry. Interesting. Is this like cannabis chew that's strawberry flavored like bubblegum?
That's a good question. Let's find out. Oh boy, they don't make it easy to get into, do they?
No, it's supposed to be childproof, which means the adults can't get into it, but they hand it to a 6-year-old.
There's all kinds of stuff that Kilroy they don't sell here in California because we have weird laws. Like there's certain types of Mountain Dew you cannot buy in California. Because of all the crud in it.
I wanted to get some of the Collins Street Bakery Mountain Dew flavored fruitcake, and I couldn't find any. I went to 3 different stores, and I was disappointed.
Oh, it's wax? Oh, do you bite a corner off? One of those, I ate a complete one of those one time, and that's when I had the existential crisis.
So sticky.
That's when I had the meltdown at the casino where I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Why did I eat that much of an edible? I am wasting my life. What am I doing? I had a crisis at a casino on an edible.
That's not a good place for it.
No,
or it hit me all at once.
Take my wallet.
I'm weird. Like I start rethinking my life. Like if I'm not going in a positive direction, I'll change my own life. Where I'm like, oh, what am I doing? I check myself all the time.
Yeah, allergic reactions do suck.
Oh, I break out everything. That's why my diet's kind of boring because I have to eat the same thing over and over. I switch it up, but you know,
because you got to rotate it so you don't get allergic to the things that you eat all the time. Not medical advice.
No, it's true. I do. I take months off and on of certain things. There's a ton of stuff I can't eat, but a lot of people are like that. So you'll never catch me making fun of anybody that has a gluten allergy because I'm like one step below that. A ton of stuff I can't eat.
Or the weird oral allergy syndrome that you're only allergic to things when certain plants are pollinating or in bloom.
My brother, he had like this allergies like to weird random like quasi it would seem random fruits and things like that.
Yep.
And one day I was like, because he's also a really bad hypochondriac, so it's hard to tell what's real, what isn't sometimes. So I was researching a little bit, and I found out that most of the things that he was allergic to were either related to the alder plant, the alder tree, or is very commonly planted close to and pollinated over by alder trees.
Wow.
So he could eat the cooked fruit and vegetables and things like that and not have the allergic reaction. But if they were raw and he ate strawberries or nectarines and things like that, he would get it.
Yep.
Crazy.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, tomorrow I'll resurrect the sewing circle.
Good. Right. I'm here because I've got lots of sewing to do because today I just marked stuff.
I think it's time. I think it's time. Are you going to be able to make it tomorrow, kids?
What time is it?
7, but I'm like Elvis. I'm like Elvis. I'm James Brown. I put my cape on a couple times and keep going.
Right. Yep. Here, who wants to shell anything, Skits? Do you have anything fancy that we should know about?
Oh, no. Nothing.
Okay. Godless, you're up next.
I'm working on a video right now. I'm slowly getting back on the horse, but it's walking backwards and I'm Don Quixote. So the video will eventually come out when it comes out. And I am literally screaming at windmills at this point.
Here.
Godless Sewing. Go check me out.
And don't wait until tomorrow to be fabulous today. And don't laugh at others unless you've laughed at yourself. All right. Bye.
Be there and be square.
Yes.